Welcome in. Welcome in. Getting everything squared away on my end. Wrapping up this sound check. Let's get me on camera. Let's get me on camera. There we go. Okay, that looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit better. Looks like the sound check is good. All right. How's everybody doing today? Everybody excited for another Browns game? All right, get some last minute stuff done, but let's go. We got Browns versus Rams today. Looks like we got some sound, so let me clear this sound here. Let's kill the intro. The intro's killed, and let's see. Sounds of the game. Let me get this on. I can minimize you, put you here. Let's make this a little bit smaller though. There we go. All right, we got sounds of the game.
It is time for the preseason finale on News 5. It's
hey, Marion, how you doing?
Toyota.
How's everything going? We got a game coming up. We're going to get to see some starters.
The Los Angeles Rams.
Shout out to you for being
plenty
here.
Of starters out on the field today, including the guy that was just named the starting quarterback, 40-year-old Joe Flacco. He can't wait to get it going.
Are y'all excited to see Joe Flacco?
Here on News 5. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast booth. That is the Hall of Famer, Joe Thomas. I am Chris Rose. Aditi Kinkawala with us down on the field as well. How old are you?
One other thing.
I'm 40 as well. Thank you.
All right, there we go. This is a time where I can make sure all my buttons and everything is working good. So just working through these last-minute things. So just bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. All right, we're looking good.
He's got a new guy out there, Isaiah Bond, who's a speedster. And I want to see him and his connection with those guys and how they can.
This is actually my first time I'm getting to hear
going into the Cincinnati game in a couple weeks.
Joe Thomas. So let me pause them. Most of the streams that I've been doing, or I went to the Carolina game, so I didn't get to hear Joe Thomas. Last week's game, I don't even know who the announcers was that I heard last week, but I've been hearing good feedback about Joe Thomas as a commentator and announcer. So excited to see how he does calling the game today. So hey, it's going to be real this week. They're not going to be able to make the excuses. We're going to get to see Dillon Gabriel, Shadour Sanders go against the same defense. They're most likely going to be playing against the same caliber of players. So a lot of the things, a lot of the excuses, the stuff that we've been hearing, all that's going to be washed away. We're just going to see if they're still going to try to make excuses like they've been trying to make. So that's going to be the big thing. Will they still try to make excuses if somebody performs or if someone doesn't perform? Let's see what they're talking about on the stream.
When he's in play and he's got an opportunity to make a cool and amazing play down the field that could be game-changing. Because we saw last week with Dillon Gabriel, he only had 2 bad plays, but they both turned.
Let me say this. So I've been watching just some of the clips. The Browns just put something out. Shedeur looking really excited. He was just smiling. Shedeur's in a really great mood. That lets me know he is calm. He's relaxed. He's not pressing. He's not stressing. That's going to lead to him feeling more comfortable sooner and having a better day. One thing I noticed about Dillon Gabriel is I noticed that he's starting to feel the pressure. He's starting to hear the outside noise. He's starting to recognize that people are saying he's not, he hasn't been doing well. He hasn't been consistent. And it seems like that might be getting to him. So we're going to see how he bounces back based on how he did last week. So a lot of people made excuses for him. A ton of people made excuses. So we're going to see if he needed those excuses or if he's up to it and he's going to do better. So that's what I'm looking forward to see. The list of guys who are not going to play today. So let me jump to that real quick for y'all. Let's get this up over here. I know Denzel Ward. I should have saved it. Let me find it real quick. Shouldn't take me long. Who posted it? Daniel Foussier posted it. So let me find it. Zach Jackson posted too. We're just going to run through who is not playing, so who we shouldn't be looking for today. All right, so here we go. We got it. Not expected to play. Greg Newsome, he's been out dealing with the shoulder injury. He's been out for a couple weeks now, so we shouldn't be looking forward to him. Of course, everybody knows Deshaun Watson's not playing, but Deshaun Watson is there. He was just on the sidelines joking with Huntley and Shedeur. Kenny Pickett, we know he's not playing. Derek Bell still has the hip injury. Cedric Tillman is dealing with something with his thumb, so he's not playing. Mahmoud Diabadi. Let's listen to Coach Kevin Stefanski real quick. See what he got to say.
Back in Joe Flacco, what should Browns fans be most excited about with him?
You know, Joe has been through so much as a player, been in the starter, been the backup, been the Super Bowl MVP. We lean on that experience. I know his teammates do. So what he brings to our offense, what he brings to our team is a wealth of experience, and he earned that job. He's played really well, so I'm excited for Joe.
And at this point, you definitely have a good sense of your entire team. What is the personality of this team? What do you know about this team right now?
They work. They really work, and they play hard. You know, the results are the results in the preseason. Listen, if they're keeping score, we want to win. But I look at how we play. I look at how high the effort is on offense, defense, and special teams. That's what matters to me and our football team going into this game as well.
As always, we've appreciated the time this preseason. Have fun.
Thanks, Didi. See you guys.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Aditi. And there is Joe Flacco. What does he want to get out of this? I mean, he has seen it all, as Kevin just mentioned, at age 40.
As strange as it seems, but he's going to want to be able to just go through the regular process of getting ready for a game. You got to get your mind ready so that when this comes in 2 weeks and the Cincinnati Bengals are in town, you're walking into the stadium with confidence. Nothing is throwing you off your game. Like, oh, I thought I was supposed to park over here. I don't know how to get there. And then I'm stressed. And then it just throws that whole routine off. So for him, he just wants that routine and that process of going through the motions and playing a home game and throwing to his guys, and hopefully against mostly bad.
All right, let's get through the last group of guys who won't be playing. Defensive tackle Mike Hall Jr., hopefully we'll have him back for the start of the season. Winston Reed, tackle Cornelius Lucas, Joe Batonio, and Myles Garrett. Joe Batonio and Myles Garrett rarely play in the preseason, so I wasn't expecting to see them. But it looks like we're going to get to see a lot of guys for the first time, so this definitely should be exciting. Let's go. Let's get the sounds of the game going.
Any of the starters that will open up their regular season against the Houston Texans. It's a lot of backups. It's a lot of guys vying for maybe the final 6 to 8 spots on the team. But that doesn't matter because the Cleveland Browns are playing a lot of their starters today. A lot of the guys you're going to see 2 weeks from tomorrow against the Cincinnati.
Like 23 years old, and he's still got that trademark energy. One of the great young minds in our game still, even after 9 seasons.
Dustin Hopkins getting all set to boot it away. Brennan Presley, number 81 for the Rams. Cody Schrader back there, number 32 as well. One last chance for the Browns to have a dress rehearsal before the curtain comes up. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we are underway in Cleveland. Rams will take a knee and start out at the 35-yard line, and they are under the leadership this afternoon of their 4th-string quarterback, Dresser Wynn, first-year man out of Tennessee Martin, who made 32 collegiate starts. The Browns, you're going to see a lot of starters out there, including the number 5 overall pick, Mason Graham.
And he's played great thus far.
Under these circumstances, our defense should perform well going against their 4th-string quarterback, and us putting our starters out there minus a couple corners and minus Myles Garrett. So let's see how they do to start.
Those guys nursing shoulder injuries. They should be good to go, though, in week 1. Rams are going to keep it on the ground. Jarquez Hunter, their 4th-round pick out of Auburn. Today's defensive position battle brought to you by Big Fig, the mattress made for more, crafted in Cleveland just like our Browns. Linebacker situation got a little tough this past week. Nathaniel Watson, who had a great preseason, lost for the year with a biceps injury. Winston Reed dinged up as well. So this depth will be tested, but you see Carson Schlesinger First pick of the second round. He's going to be right in the middle of that Browns defense. It's Hunter again up the gut and about a yard shy of the first down.
First two plays there for the Rams are running what we call duo, which is basically power blocking without pulling anybody, just getting double teams at the point of attack, letting the running back find a little bit of a hole and pushing the Browns defensive line a little bit, but an opportunity here on third down to step up and get off the field.
Getting a good look at Malik Collins, one of the free agent signings, a 10-year vet on that defensive line. 3rd and 1. Whistles and a flag. First one of the afternoon. Here's our referee, Brad Allen.
False start. Offense. Everyone but the snapper. 5-yard penalty.
One of my favorites.
Everyone but the snapper. Man, oh man.
Well, I'm glad you look at the center and you go, well, I'm glad they didn't call my number, because I've had a few times when Alex Mack didn't snap it when he was supposed to, and so I move, and then they give me the penalty, and then now I'm answering the questions in the media after, why'd you have 2 penalties in the game? And then you're left with this conundrum. Do I throw Alex Mack under the bus, or do I just take it?
Calling him out. Wasn't he like a 7-time Pro Bowler?
He was all right.
3rd and 6.
Oh.
Blitz by the Browns, and Wynn gets destroyed. It was Carson Schlesinger getting right in there on the linebacker blitz.
You like to see it. You like to see it. That's what you want to see early. Them playing a 4th-string quarterback, us playing our starters, the bulk of our starters. You definitely want to see us. Man, they just blew that. Dang, they blew that. I guess they didn't think he was coming on the blitz, but he got right through the middle. Carson Schlesinger, that is our 2nd-round draft pick.
DeAndre Carter. First time we get a look at him in the preseason. The veteran return man takes it at the 13. Up close to the 25, and now we will get a chance to see the Browns' #1 offense led by 4.
Funny story, DeAndre Carter was the one who picked the number 2 before Shedeur was drafted, and then, like everybody expected, he tried to sell that number to Shedeur. Shedeur turned him down afterwards, so he caught a little flack early on. But let's see how this offense does.
Man could still spin it.
40 years old. I'm happy when I can get out of my chair every morning, and Flacco's out there still spinning and running around like he's almost 30.
Aiden Huntington, one of the defensive linemen, the fullback in motion, paving the way for the rookie Dillon Sampson. Yeah, we just saw number 66 line up as an extra tight end and bring it.
I love that play. They're running like a wham play. So Aiden Huntington, he lines up in the fullback position, goes in short motion.
I like Aiden Huntington a lot. He's a defensive lineman. They line him up in fullback, and he's been making plays on special teams. So it looks like he's definitely a lock to make the team.
4th-round pick Sampson in the backfield. First throw of the day. Looks left, throws, connects. Incomplete, a little too low actually for the Pro Bowler Jerry Jeudy, who had an outstanding first season with the Browns a year ago.
Yeah, Browns picked up Jerry Jeudy last year. I think there was some wonderment about what you were going to get out of the guy, but he's been incredible. He's been a Pro Bowler, having his best season as an NFL player, and him and Joe Flacco have had a special connection thus far in training camp.
And 90 catches a year ago, that's the most of any Browns player in team history. 3rd and 6. Flacco to throw again. Looks, reads, connects with David Njoku. He's going to be tackled shy of the first down. That's our old buddy Tony Fields wrapping him up on his return to Cleveland. Of course, spent the first 4 years of his career, and he's fired up. Browns go 3 and out. Not as excited.
Yeah, not as excited for the Browns, but if you're
you definitely want to see more from our starting offense. Only guys not out there, Joe Bitonio. You want to see Jerry Jeudy be able to make that catch. Joe Flacco put that pass in a better spot. And then you want to see them be able to get a first down. Gage Larvadam was in with the ones. So, to me, look at that, man. Bajorquez is the beast. Shout out to Bajorquez on that punt, man. Man, oh, man. Bajorquez has been one of our most consistent players, best players last couple of years. But back to, I think we're getting some signals of some guys that might make this roster. So We saw Aiden Huntington in at fullback. He plays defensive line. He also plays special teams. So when you have like a Swiss Army knife guy like that, definitely excited because he's one of the guys I want to see make the team. Then you see Gage Larvaden getting in there on third down, and it looks like he's in before Deontay Johnson. So that's a good sign. He's also someone I want to see make the team. So when you're seeing guys get in like that early, it definitely is something to look forward to, meaning they got a good chance to make the team, especially with roster cut downs coming really soon. So those are some good things, and definitely excited. What do y'all think about that first drive? First drive went 3 and out. A lot of people, they tried to knock Shedeur because they said, oh, Shedeur was going against Carolina's first string offense. They went 3 and out. Well, our starters versus the Rams, I don't even know if this is a third or fourth string defense, the offense went 3 and out. So are we gonna discredit Joe Flacco for his ability to move the offense and move the chains the same way we did Shedeur, even though Shedeur was coming off getting the lowest amount of reps up until that point, and Joe Flacco was getting majority of the reps with the ones? You got to think. So when you run into situations where people use things to discredit Shedeur, will you use that same standard when you speak about other guys? I don't think they will. But y'all let me know. Do y'all think we're going to hear about Joe Flacco going 3 and out on his first drive with the starters? I don't think we are. I don't think we are. Commercial break. If you are just tuning in, it's on a commercial break. A little bit of extended commercial break, I would say. More than the 30 seconds. It's going close to a minute. But we will get back, and we'll get that sound and volume back as soon as the game is back. A little bit disappointing of a first drive there. Let's get to it. We got the sound back.
Payment solutions made easy. Visit HerPay.
Actually, I'm going to cut that. So it's funny because when they play certain music in the background, Gino, you see it. They're not going to say nothing about it.
Rams under the leadership of Dresser win. Jarquez Hunter remains in the backfield. Rams will keep it on the ground for not much, right in the middle of that Browns defense. And one thing we're keeping our eye on, Joe, the back seven, particularly the...
I don't really do much sports betting. I was debating if I wanted to do any sports betting this year. I'm thinking about taking the Browns over when it comes to wins. I think they're going to win 6 games. Another bet, if I can find it, Carson Schlesinger over 100 tackles. Depending on his health, he seems to be in on every play. Those are kind of the only 2 bets I'm looking to place, if I place any.
2nd and 8 for the Rams. Play fake, win, being chased, throws, ball's going to be out. It was Miles Harden that would have had an easy pick 6 if he could have stayed in bounds. And Harden is one of those guys that's vying for that slot corner. A missed opportunity for him in this Cleveland defense.
When you're gifted an interception like that, you got to convert. You got to make it. He's trying to throw the ball away, so he just threw a duck out there. Look at this. Man, that's just like when a receiver gets 2 hands on the ball, Harden, you got to make that play. You got to make that play. 3rd and 8, let's go.
Miles Harden, a 7th-round pick a year ago. Rams on 3rd down. Browns blitzing. They're coming, and they're sacking Wynn just outside of the end zone, it looks like.
Alex Wright and Mason Graham making the play. Definitely something you want to see. This is what I expect from our starters.
Actually replacing a defensive tackle who's dropping into coverage, so it's a zone blitz. They're bringing their linebacker from the 2nd level. That's Grant Delpit actually from the safety spot there, and the Rams just have no answer. It's interesting because the Rams didn't really treat this too seriously, but I think Jim Schwartz is saying, I don't care, we're going to make them pay anyway.
Ethan Evans right up against the end line, kicks it away. Carter, and it's a good boot, takes it at his 46 into Rams territory, keeps his footing and gets it inside the 45 before he is leveled. And the Browns will start their second drive in Rams territory. Joe Flacco.
I know we signed Carter as a return specialist, but after we got to see Gage Larvidan return kicks, after we got to see Caden Davis return kicks, we also got to see Luke Florio return kicks. I don't know if we need a specialist at returning kicks who just doesn't have this blazing speed when we could definitely be getting those reps to some of the younger guys. So it seems like Carter's going to be a lock to make the team, but when you just stumble upon good talent like those young guys, any way you can get them on the team and get them reps early, I think would be more beneficial. And lately, the Browns have had a bad go at it when they've been signing just specialty speed guys for a returner. They signed Marcus Goodwin. He got injured very quickly. We signed another returner 2 years ago from the Chicago Bears. He had a lower leg injury that made him out the whole season. So I think you got to start, instead of just trying to go outside the building, you got to start developing guys into these roles. And I would like to see the Browns do that. Good stand from the defense. Mason Graham looks good so far. I'm not going to be one of those people who every time you give a player a compliment, you have to try to diminish it with a backhanded compliment by saying, but look who he's going against. You can only play against who they line up in front of you. So I'm just taking guys for what they do. And Alex Wright is looking really good. And then Mason Graham is looking good. I'm liking Carson Schlesinger so far. So as I was saying earlier, if I take any bets, I'm thinking about doing Browns over, and I'm thinking about doing Carson Schlesinger 100-plus tackles for the year. So we'll see. We are on commercial break right now. The defense looking better. This is a short field. This is where you want to see our offense against their backup defense move the ball, sustain the drive, and go in for a touchdown. You don't want to see this drive when you're plus 50, past the 50. You don't want to see this drive end. CA, you know why we here. You know why we here. You know what we here for. We're going to have to wait it out for Shedeur. It looks like Joe Flacco's probably going to get 3 series. I would imagine they're going to put Joe Flacco in on this series. Man, Isaiah Bond in already? That's early.
Isaiah Bond just signed this week after a Texas grand jury no-billed a sexual assault charge stemming from an April arrest. Andrew Berry, who will join us a little bit later, said they spent much of the last calendar year getting to know him. They are comfortable with him, and he is now officially a part of the team after signing a 3-year deal. Joe Flacco swings it out to Ford. Gets about 3, down close to the 40. Aditi Kinkawala joining us this afternoon from the sidelines. Hi, Aditi.
Hi, Chris. Joe Flacco is the father of 4 boys and a brilliant little girl, and his 2 older sons have very famously been on the record saying they're not impressed with their dad. In fact, one of them went to a game that their dad was starting in Miami wearing a Tyreek Hill jersey. So this week, Flacco tells us that he called his oldest son, Steven. He said that I won the starting job. Steven told his second brother, Daniel, and Daniel said, nuh-uh. Flacco told us he didn't even believe it until he actually saw the news headline. Tough audience.
It is a tough audience. There's a run by Ford who bounces outside, gets the Browns' initial first down, delivers some punishment, and gets it down close to the 30. By the way, that sideline report from Aditi was presented by Sugardale, the official bacon of the Cleveland Browns.
Couple things you like to see there. You like to see Ford bouncing that to the outside quick, making that fast decision. You also like to see Deontay Johnson Von Teal, I feel you. I know a lot of people feel that way. You also like to see Deontay Johnson blocking that field. My bot is pretty aggressive, so let me check out your comment.
Antonio getting the Veterans Day off. 1st and 10, it's Ford. Gets wrapped up after a gain of maybe 1. All right, time right now for the offensive line.
C-Aid. I think it was all caps. I think that's why the bot got you. But JV football play, what they waiting for? Shedeur, they already called it. Shedeur's not playing till – I don't think he's going to play before the 3rd quarter. They already said it's going to be Joe Flacco going in with the 1s. They're going to get 1 to 3 series. Dillon Gabriel's coming in second. Shadour's coming in third, so I'm guessing that's not going to be till the third quarter.
On their run game this season.
That's Gage Larvidan on the quick hitter. No gain, maybe even a loss of 1.
Not sure exactly what was supposed to happen there. Caden Davis was blocking for that ball to go outside, and Larvidan actually tried to cut it up inside and ended up cutting up right into the Rams defender, and that's why the play didn't work. So those two guys not on the same page. That operation is really what we're looking for here, making sure everybody's clean with their technique and just not clean on that one.
3rd and 9 for the Browns. Midway through this opening quarter. Flacco, time, swings it. Sampson, spin move, first down inside the 20.
You know, it's one of those things that I really think about the pronunciation of people's names because I know that people don't even try and they'll just mess people's names up. So I definitely take my time with that. Shadour got the largest family when it comes to social media out there. So definitely excited to see him when he gets out there. Looks like a Browns offensive lineman is down on the play. We might be going to a timeout, a TV timeout if he's down. Yeah, we're going to a TV timeout. He's down. So it's funny because I saw a video Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show put out today, and they were asking if Shadour Sanders was the most popular rookie in Cleveland, and I think it's a no-brainer. He's easily the most popular rookie, more popular than LeBron. I said this, I might have said this 2 months ago, and they were saying no, it's LeBron, and then they start bringing in what LeBron had accomplished. What's good, Brent? Shout out to you. They started bringing up other things that LeBron had accomplished, and I'm like, Shadour Sanders is easily the biggest star. He's moving the needle for preseason games. The NFL is promoting him the way the Browns are promoting him. You know, it's totally different. He's the biggest star. So shout out to Shadour. I appreciate that. I'm trying, so last year I used to do pregame shows and I used to do postgame shows. And this year I'm like, let's listen in. Let's interact with, the people who are watching this together. Just checking out the Cleveland Browns. And then we got Shadour. And I was like, man, that was Shadour. We got the Shadour stimulus package. So, it ain't nothing wrong with Shadour being on the team. I love it. So it is on commercial break. I was starting to say this earlier, but YouTube is very funny. So some of the commercials might have copyrighted music in it, and then you'll get a copyright. So then I had to cut 5 seconds out of my stream last week. So during commercial breaks, I will have the sound off. As soon as they go back to the field, that's when I'll turn it back on because YouTube is really tricky when it comes to the copyright. So all right, we're back.
For all Toyota offers, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And unfortunately, the place where Ethan Posick went was the blue tent. He did walk off under his own power. And we will get you an update momentarily. In the meantime, Luke Whippler, the third-year center out of Ohio State, has taken his place.
Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that.
It's presented by Milk-Bone. Milk-Bone bringing more dog to the dog pound. Rams bringing a blitz on that, stopping Sampson. Didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and long.
Harold Fannin Jr., the Browns' impressive tight end, I believe was in there blocking back, and it looked like he was a little bit confused about who he was supposed to get there when the Rams blitzed off their left edge and just left the guy unblocked. He was able to get in there into the running back and take him to the ground.
Jerome Ford is checked back into the game.
Gino, I'm guessing it's going to be in the third quarter.
20 and 25
Q5, Dillon Gabriel is getting the next set of reps.
Touchdown! Maybe he didn't know who to block on the previous play, but he knows where to go to catch the passes.
Some guys, you don't waste time teaching them how to block when they can catch like that and get themselves.
Y'all see it. That's what I want to see. Shout out to you, Q5. Yeah, so they said it's going to be Joe Flacco first. He's going to get 1 to 3 series. I'm guessing since he got this touchdown on the second series, we might see Dillon Gabriel on the next series. I don't see that much of a reason for them keeping Flacco and all the starters out there, but it's going to be Dillon Gabriel next, and then after that, it's going to be Shadour. So I'm, like Von Seal said, I'm guessing it's going to be third quarter. We're going to get to see Shadour. barring any like injuries or anything like that. I'm guessing. My guess is third quarter. Good to see Harold Fannin Jr. We haven't seen him that much in the preseason. Maybe only a few snaps here and there. So definitely good to see him getting in there and scoring. So shout out to everybody for being here. I do a live weekly listen/watch party for the Cleveland Browns. I'll be doing one every game for every game this year. I usually go live maybe like 10 minutes prior to. So like, comment, subscribe just so you can be notified when I go live. And we're going to watch these Browns. So we are on commercial break. And we're going to see who comes out next. Who comes out next at quarterback. So far, so good. When you get the ball on plus side of the field, you want to see the team go in for a score. So that was good. Glad to see Joe Flacco lead them on a touchdown drive. I know Joe Flacco is not going to be the quarterback for the whole year, but that doesn't mean I don't want to see positive things when he's in there. We all know that, you know, Shadour is marinating. You know, he's building it up so he can get better. I want to see Shadour at least start 8 games this year. So how many games y'all want to see Shadour start this year? Man, struggling over here. Give me a second, y'all. I'll be right back. All right. Thank y'all for bearing with me. Gino, is that Gino? Yeah, Gino. Minimum 6, at least 6. I would say they're doing a disservice if he starts less than 6 games this year. You definitely want to see what you got. So 6 games, I agree with you there. We got the game back, so let's go back to it.
On that drive, including a 15-yard TD toss to the rookie, Harold Fannin. Aditi?
Oh, Chris, Ethan Posick walked into the locker room of his own accord. I'm watching Dillon Gabriel warm up right now. It looks like Joe Flacco's day may be done.
All right. So Kevin Stefanski told us 20 to 25 plays.
All right, so Aditi just sell it there. Dillon Gabriel's warming up. So it looks like we're going to probably see him in the first quarter. I'm guessing Dillon Gabriel might get the rest of the first, maybe the second, and then we'll get Shadour in the third quarter. It's looking like it's shaping up that way. But it's something we'll be monitoring and paying attention to because y'all know who we here for.
Possible for you to earn an affordable degree that fits your life. Hey, who was the youngest Browns player to make a Pro Bowl appearance? Myles Garrett, David Njoku, Joel Bitonio, Denzel Ward. I have the answer coming up in a bit.
You feel pretty confident about that one? You didn't look it up, right?
I did not look it up.
Okay.
How old were you when you first made the Pro Bowl, Rook?
I think it would have been 23. 23 sounds about right.
Okay.
But I think those guys were significantly younger. Myles, I think, was 20. Same with Njoku.
Well, let's not give it away.
No, when they came in the NFL.
I got it.
Just give them some, tips. Tips and tricks.
Whistle and a flag, and it looks like delay a game.
Prior to the expiration of the play clock is a charge timeout.
Oh.
Los Angeles, they're first. It will be 30 seconds.
Okay.
We talked about operation, right? Which is always the boring.
Hey, Gino, you funny. Isn't it funny how they spent the whole week spinning that pick 6 into and not being a negative? You know, the first thing you learn in football as a quarterback is you don't want to have turnovers. They spent this entire week trying to make it okay for Dillon Gabriel's turnovers. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But just my thing is when the next quarterback has a pick 6 and a fumble, I want that same treatment.
Born in Dayton, Ohio. His formative years down in Georgia, where he actually won Football Player of the Year over Calvin Johnson down there. That's Hunter with some bruising running up near the 20. Defensively, you just saw Jim Schwartz now in his 3rd year as the DC, and 2 years ago, this was the #1 defense in the NFL, fell to about the middle of the pack a season ago. But based on what we've seen in camp, and especially those 2 joint practices with the Super Bowl champion Eagles, they could be back to the 2023 level.
We're really not sure how explosive this offense is going to be. It's going to be more of the ground and pound and take shots with Flacco, but watching that defense against Carolina and then specifically against the Philadelphia Eagles offense, I think gave Browns fans a lot of confidence because they were completely dominant from the front all the way to the coverage in the back end.
I broke that down, Gino. I broke down Dan Orlovsky on my show yesterday. I did a live stream. And Dan Orlovsky, he said, yeah, you know, it's on the quarterback to not make the throw. But then he immediately went to the tight end, just kind of drifting and going too far upfield. Then he went to Deontay Johnson getting thrown off the angle that he was supposed to pursue. It's like he just messed up. Tessa, you know he ain't nowhere to be found.
Keeping it on the ground and getting nowhere close to the sticks because Isaiah McGuire continues his remarkable run this preseason.
Guess who? Isaiah McGuire. He already had 2 pressures.
Jeffrey is somewhere waiting for Shadour Sanders to make a mistake. That's where he is. And he not gonna come back until he sees Shadour do something wrong. If that doesn't happen, we not gonna see him. We ain't gonna see him. He went into hiding. Let's see, unsportsmanlike conduct. Would they get a penalty for taunting?
Years. I suppose celebrating is one thing. They're drawing the line pretty early here in the preseason. Make sure the guys know during the regular season that's going to be a no-go.
Preseason is a lot of time for the officials to emphasize and maybe call a little bit more than they normally would on some of the points that they've been talked to by the NFL that they really want to make sure that they tighten things up. So I think that's something that maybe doesn't get called in the regular season.
So first down, and that ball is incomplete as Devin.
Vasil, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's not really, I mean, if you just like football, then you watch it, but I feel you. I know a lot of people feel the exact same way as you. I know a ton of people who just waiting for that alert that Shadour is in the game. Until then, they're not turning this thing on.
Into his chest. Excellent reaction there by Devin Bush with his eyes on the quarterback first and then finding where that ball is going and disrupting the play.
It's going to be a fast linebacking crew with Bush, Schlesinger, and Diabate this year. Rams again on the ground, and again it's Devin Bush wrapping up Hunter.
Our defensive line is doing pretty good. Linebackers are doing pretty good, dropping down, getting those tackles, shutting down the run. So I like to see that. You know Jeffrey ain't hiding. He was fighting for his life in here. He's like, no, it was on the receiver. The receiver's why he threw the pick. It wasn't on Dillon Gabriel. Why Dillon Gabriel, fumbled the ball. That was very easy to see. Once Dillon Gabriel did those chop steps when he was handing the ball off, he was the one that was in the wrong. And it was like, look, man, I gave you grace. I said, even if we just take away the interception, what about the fumble? And he was making excuses. So usually it always triggers my mind when people go to above and beyond to protect somebody, then I know that person isn't as good as everybody's saying. Because if you were good, nobody would have to do backflips to protect you when you made a mistake. They would just say, hey, he made a mistake, he got to do better. But once you start doing all that, it's like, come on, man, I know what you're doing. Another commercial. All right, we back.
Garrett has gotten here in the preseason. Right there. Good job.
Hope he's not tired after that long commercial there. We saw him warming up today a little bit.
Yes,
though.
in pads.
They're in pads. So
and actually, he was the last Brown to leave the field during pregame to a thunderous ovation for signing that 4-year extension. 3rd and 11 for the Rams. Win. Plenty of time. Good protection. Leaks out. He's going to run it. End up about 6 yards shy of the first down.
First time the Rams offensive line has been sound in their protection.
So it looks like some of those Brown starters, they got them off the field already. So we're going to get to see guys who are on the brink and fighting to make the team. Carter's going to get another kick return because they got the stop. Joe Flacco still has his helmet on. So I don't know if they're going to try to get Joe Flacco another series, but I can't see why they would do that.
The 10. Gets it up to the 20. And here comes Joe Flacco for a third and perhaps final series. 5 for 6 today, the lone misfire, his first attempt of the day to Jerry Jeudy.
Which was really a ball that Jeudy should have caught. Flacco.
This don't make sense to me. I don't understand why. Like, usually you want to go out on a good note. You get your starters. You have a good drive. You score a touchdown. Defense is doing pretty well so far. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's not in the game, but why we got Joe Flacco going back out there? I mean, I guess they probably decided he was just going to play the whole first quarter maybe, but this don't make sense.
Day starters remain in. Once again, if we hear anything about Ethan Posick, we will pass it along. Flacco on a play fake, dumps it out to Ford. Nice adjustment on the catch. Gains about a yard or so before being brought down by Cam Lampkin.
Jerome Ford does a great job finishing with the ball in his hand. A couple times down the sideline already, we've seen him lower his shoulder, gain a couple extra yards there. Running after the catch, giving a nice little move near the sideline, but just not going down easy, right? That's that mentality that as a running back you want to build, even in preseason, even in training camp, so it carries over during the regular games.
2nd and 9 for the Browns. That's Pierre Strong for the first time. Dragged down after.
Gino, I get it. It's more the fan in me coming out now where it's like, let's get let's cycle through these quarterbacks so we can get to Shedeur faster. So I get it. Joe Flacco hasn't taken any steps, so they want to get him out there, get him some reps. But it's like, I mean, I'm gonna feel this way in the regular season too. It's like, all right, I get why you put Joe Flacco out there, but I'm just trying to get to the point faster as Shedeur playing.
Really nice play from Dillon Sampson and Pierre Strong, and had the right tackle. Not missed his block on that one. He may have some space there for a man to run.
3rd and 8. Screen set up, plenty of space. It's going to be Strong. Gets the first down, past the 35 and the 40. Browns with a perfect play call against the Rams.
Really nice timing on this screen. You'll see here the Browns do a great job of starting the protection and then getting out in time. You saw a great block there by number 56, Luke Whippler, the center, who's in for the Ethan Posick injury. And great job there.
Gino, that's how I feel. You know, it's like, all right, Joe Flacco don't look terrible. It's like, okay, I get it. Once that happened, it's like, can we fast forward this thing? Can we get to the reason why we're here? That was a good-looking screenplay they just ran. But, I mean, you know, this is one of those things where it's just like, man, every rep he's getting is just taking more time for us to get to what we want to see.
Throw again. Connects with Njoku, and a first down into Rams territory, down at the 45. Boy, David Njoku became a different player when Joe Flacco signed on at the end of the 2023 season. These guys have tremendous chemistry.
Those guys have such a special connection. Flacco feels so comfortable with the way Njoku finds the little open space, those windows. Kind of like if you remember Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, it's like they're just playing basketball out there. They're going to an open spot, nothing that's written in the playbook, but they just have that great feel between the two of them.
Called him a beautiful human being.
Classic Njoku comments there.
Flacco again. Fannin, he's got nowhere to go. Well read by the Rams, but look at this. This spin move. He was not finished. That's about.
Kevin Stefanski is definitely getting back to the way that he calls offense. I think that might have been the 4th screenplay that we've ran on this drive. So he's definitely getting back to the way that he calls offense. If you don't follow me on YouTube, or if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, you're not on my TikTok, I put out clips. Mary Kay was trying to tell people that Dillon Gabriel was helping install a new offense for the Browns. I was like, man, that's going to be an L, Mary Kay. Why would you have your third string? Why would you have your third string quarterback? Facts, Joshua. We made it through the first quarter. The first quarter's over, so we're going to see if they let Joe continue this drive or they're going to switch it over to Dillon Gabriel. He made it through a quarter. But if you got somebody like Joe Flacco, why would Dillon Gabriel be doing the install for the offense? So they're making those excuses for Dillon Gabriel, something I mentioned earlier. But we're going to see how he does. We're going to see who is in at quarterback when we come from this TV break. We are on commercial break. I'm right there with you. I am right there with you, Von Seal. Once he comes in, it's going to be a standing ovation. Yeah, Gino, you heard that. I was like, man, what is this? Why are we going so far? Why are we going so far with trying to protect this guy? Like, just let it be what it is. They are actually, when they do all this stuff, yeah, his comments was a little shaky. The entertainer and competitor comment, Joshua, when they asked Shadour about it, and they said, did you believe him? And Shadour said, I mean, it ain't really about if I believe him. I was like, okay. Shadour don't believe him. But yeah, it's very strange when it comes to Shadour, man, because so many things make sense, and then when you ask that next level question about why it happened that way, nobody has the answers. Nobody has any answers on why stuff is going the way it is. So, yeah, Mary Kay trying to defend Dillon, and then you got all these people in the media trying to defend Dillon Gabriel's performance, but at the same time, you got the Browns putting out that Dillon Gabriel is this great processor. He knows the offense. He knows the whiteboard, but then when he goes out there, he makes very elementary mistakes with playing quarterback, and it's like these two things don't match. So they're setting him up for a bigger fail, and they are letting Shadour get more comfortable and more confident. So true. So true. All you got to do is just look at people's body language when they're speaking. And the reason why I keep saying Dillon Gabriel's feeling the pressure is because if you look at Dillon Gabriel's press conference in rookie camp and you look at him now, he doesn't even look the same. Let's see who. We still got Joe Flacco in? All right, man, they dragging this, man. They dragging it.
Hot passes. It's got to go in here. As do the Browns. Opening play of the second quarter. Flacco pressured, dropped.
All right, Joe Flacco 40.
Elias Neal with the sack.
How many hits? How many hits y'all gonna keep letting Joe Flacco take? Get these young guys in here. And think about it like this too, Gino. When you're in competition with somebody, it's hard for you to just, really like or enjoy that person unless you're the confident one.
College ball down the street, that's got to be a big moment, even in the preseason.
3rd and 18, Browns will keep it on the ground. Strong gets back a few, and so let's see if it'll be punt time. It will be, as Corey Bajorquez trots on.
Joshua, if they give Shadour the last 3 minutes of the game, this going to be us. We're going to be like, so we sat here and waste our whole afternoon just waiting for them to give Shadour 3 snaps? Yeah, on that pick 6, that was a big problem with processing because he was so late on the play. He should have identified it so much earlier. He should have just took off and ran and got out of bounds. But he was so late, which the processing is what he's supposed to be so good at. He would have saw that it wasn't there. False start. The Browns are punting the ball. If we see Flacco for another series, man, I'm going to have to take a 5-minute break. Like, we can't get this thing moving forward. When the quarterback is trying to tell the coach that's calling the plays, get this thing going. That's how I feel about us getting past Dillon Gabriel into Shadour. Get this thing going now. Get it going. Oh, Gino, I agree. That was a blessing in disguise for Dillon Gabriel because what people wanted to do was they wanted to make it like, oh, man, Shadour went against Carolina. Dillon went against the Eagles. Shadour would have did the same thing against the Eagles that he did against Carolina. And they have been able to hide behind, oh, they went against different teams. They went against different players. They're not going to be able to do that today. Today, when they go against the same players, because the Rams never started with their starters anyway, we really gonna see the truth.
Cody Schrader in the backfield for the Rams as Dresser Wynn remains in the game. Looks deep, looks left. Overthrows Terrence Ferguson, the second-round pick out of Oregon, who caught an awful lot of passes from the Browns' third-round selection, Dillon Gabriel.
Rayshon Jenkins there doing a nice job.
I did a mock draft before the draft. Terrence Ferguson, the tight end from Oregon, he was one of the guys I had on the board that I was looking at that I thought was going to be a player. So it's kind of funny that he ended up on the Rams. And if you have a better quarterback there, they make that throw.
Get the for a guy that played offensive line, you know a lot about catching the ball.
I can look at spaces. I can't catch it, but I can tell you what you should have done.
Not true. Not true. End around. That's Presley getting up toward the 20. Good spin move. Dom Jones finally wraps him up, but not before a Rams first down up to the 28-yard line.
Dom Jones in there on the tackle. He's going to be one of the guys that they're –
I think Shadour is going to be fine when he gets out there. I like to look at a person's body language and how they're coming in, and you see the confidence dripping off Shadour's face and everything they posted. So I'm confident he'll do what he's supposed to do when he gets out there. Man, if Shadour went to the Rams, that would have been crazy. I really like Sean McVay, how he builds up an offense. How he makes everything look the same. So that would have been crazy. Joshua, let me see what your message is. My bot kind of aggressive, so let's see. Shadour Sanders faced the first-string defense of Carolina while having practice squad receivers. Meanwhile, DG faced the Eagles practice squad D with the first-string offense. So true. One of the first things I pointed out when the game started versus the Eagles, I noticed that they put DeJuan Jones in on starting left tackle. I was like, okay, that's different. Come on, man. You got to make these tackles. Jet sweeps, this is crazy. We should easily be able to stop that. But, yeah, I noticed right away. I was like, okay, DeJuan Jones in at left tackle. And then I noticed the receivers they put in. And I was like, okay. So we kind of – he had a starting receiver for the whole – he had a starting receiver for, I think, like 20 snaps and Cedric Tillman. He had a starting left tackle in DeJuan Jones for the whole first quarter. And if you notice, after the first quarter – his play dropped off once it was a level playing field to who Shadour actually had out there. And then they also did set up some additional protection for him. Browns got to stop. It's fourth down. We're going to see who the next quarterback is. Hopefully this is Dillon Gabriel so we can get this thing out the way. Yeah, Browns got to stop there. Third and short. They should be punting it. 4th and 2. Let's see if punting or going for it.
Side where the Rams are trying to run, giving them an opportunity to get off the field here, forcing the Rams to punt.
12-year veteran Shelby Harris in on the action there. Now in his third year with the Browns. What a great career he's had as originally a 7th-round pick. Evans for the 4th time, and Carter's going to watch it sail out of bounds. Well, Joe Flacco's day appears.
Q5, you're right. They got Dillon Gabriel. He got his helmet on. Looked like he's getting ready to come in. Let me show y'all something. During this commercial break, let me see if I can find it real quick. It was actually the Browns posted it. And this goes back to what I was saying about like body language and stuff like that and how Shadour just looks supremely confident. Let's see. This is bad podcasting as I search for this. My bad for the silence, but let's see. Where did I see it at? Did I see it on IG? Oh, here's one of the things that I saw.
Here we go. I've been waiting for this. Hey, let's have some fun today, boys. It's all just football, baby. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Right.
So you see right there, Shadour got a full smile. Dang, I'm that far behind you? That's crazy. All right, don't Q5, don't spoil it for me then, man. Don't spoil it for me. I don't know. I know that my stream, I have like on on my stream, I know I got like a 10-second delay. That's just like if I lose internet or anything like that. All right, I don't know what you're talking about, A1. I know I have a delay just to protect my stream just in case I have internet issues, but dang, how we all on 3 different times? This is crazy. Let's see. Let me go to my NFL actual post and see if where I'm streaming this from, my NFL Plus, and see if I'm behind. Yeah, it's saying I'm live. Let me hit live again, make sure I'm live. Yeah, it's showing I'm live, so I don't know. Pop that back out. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a quick. No, we got the game back on, so I ain't gonna do that. One of these commercial breaks, I'm gonna just reset my stream and see if it catches me up.
However, a couple of turnovers. He's going to look to improve on that.
Looked great, except for those 2 turnovers, which is hard to say, but when you're a rookie in your first start, you got to take the win of operation, decision-making, and just try to clean up those 2 mistakes here in this second opportunity.
Pierre Strong spins forward for about.
Why do they always say he looked good except for those 2 mistakes? Like those 2 mistakes don't change how you actually view him. That don't make sense to me. If you throw a pick 6 and you have a fumble, shouldn't we change that grade from look good to, looked okay or look fine, or you know what I'm saying? How does it still look great? And the biggest thing is turnovers, and you just don't count those like they didn't happen.
The speculation now is, hey, these young guys have looked good enough in their first 2.
Thanks, Von Seal. I appreciate that.
Hey, maybe they can be 1 snap away and make them really the backup quarterback when the season starts.
Gabriel to throw across the middle, connects. That's Jamari Thrash for a first down past the 35. Those 2 had a great connection last week in Philly.
Dillon Gabriel showing a veteran-like ability to look off the defense. Look at that. He's looking to his left first, and then he comes back all the way across the middle to Jamari Thrash in the second window on the dig route over the middle. Great job manipulating the defense with your eyes, something that a lot of times you just see with veteran quarterbacks.
Gain of 15, gets the ball up to the 38. Strong remains in the game. He'll get the ball, big hole, and he takes a big hit. Tanner Engel delivering the shot, but a gain of 8.
A really nice shot by the left side of the Browns off.
Pierre Strong is having a really strong preseason. Big run. He got smacked there at the end of that play, though. 2nd and 2. Browns are driving. That's what it seems like. It's not all about performance. It's who they like behind the scenes, which don't really matter on the field that much.
It's an undrafted rookie free agent out of Appalachian State. Checks into the backfield. Gabriel pressured, spins, rolls left, and just wisely throws it away.
That's the type of play that the fans are not super pumped about, but the Browns coaching staff is really happy because it's decision-making as you're a rookie quarterback. It's deciding when to try to make that play and take that chance, and then sometimes this up. So good job knowing the situation.
I was on mute there. I was just saying I don't mind him dropping back and throwing the ball away. That's a smart play.
Of a rookie. Marshall is going to get the first down and get it close to midfield as the drive continues. So big picture here, what do you think the Browns are thinking with their 2 rookies at this point? Obviously, a lot of it depends on the health of Kenny Pickett. He's a guy they loved. It's why they traded for him in the spring. They thought he'd have a legit shot to battle whomever they would bring into that quarterback room. It ended up being Joe Flacco yet again, and it's going to be an interesting mindset for the next 72 hours.
A lot of speculation with Kenny Pickett missing most of training camp. Are they?
Yeah, Shadour moves the room. When I was at the game in Carolina, anywhere he went, everybody just focused on that area. So he definitely moves the room. And it also seems like his teammates gravitate towards him. So that's a plus. One thing, like, people don't talk about, they kind of try to make it as a knock against Shadour. in Carolina, when he threw that pass and it could have been intercepted, Gage Larvadan turned into a DB on that play, and he stripped the defender from being able to catch an interception. That's guys who are fighting for you. That's guys who want to see the best for you because you don't always see that.
Developmental guys. They have treated it as such. Strong again. Burst for another first down. I like his explosiveness, by the way.
Yeah, he's seeing the blocking schemes in front of him really, really well. Tevin Jenkins, the right guard, does a great job getting hip to hip.
I don't know who this safety is for the Rams, but this safety is coming in and he is smacking guys. He is putting some big hits. That was the second big hit he put on Pierre Strong, and Pierre Strong was slow to get up, and he ran off the field.
That first down.
I don't know if you salivate more talking about offensive line play or your Wagyu beef.
Yeah, it might be the Hall of
close.
Fame beef, but it's definitely a tie. At this point, though, I'm not hungry. I'm just hungry for some more O-line play, baby. Let's go.
Gabriel rolls, hits Marshall wide open inside the 30, inside the 25, and another easy Browns first down.
Dillon Gabriel booting to his left, to his strong throwing arm, doing a great job, just making the routine plays look easy. And that's so important for a young quarterback because you're going to get very few layups in the NFL, and you've got to be able to.
The tight end didn't stretch out his hands on that pick for Dillon Gabriel, and Deontay Johnson didn't even try to make a tackle. He just put his head down and walked off the field. So they definitely weren't fighting for him.
Ups in for both sides. The Rams obviously started their backups. Gabriel turns, throws, overshoots Caden Davis. Time right now for another sideline report presented by Sugardale, the official bacon of the Cleveland Browns. Aditi has more on the quarterback situation.
Chris, one more point to add to what you and Joe are saying about Kenny Pickett. Kevin Stefanski has repeatedly said you cannot say enough good things about him, and he has repeatedly called him a good teammate. I can tell you through 3 games of standing here on the sideline, whatever quarterback comes over to the sideline, it's Kenny Pickett who immediately sits down next to him, who has the tablet with him. We saw it all last week with Dillon Gabriel. When Tommy Reese was up in the box, it was Kenny Pickett trying to coach him up.
Thank you, Aditi. Gabriel trying to squeeze it into Thrash in the window. Gets knocked away. And it'll be 3rd and long for the Browns. Yeah, Kenny Pickett is about as disappointed as anybody that in late July he pulled up lame and just was never.
This is our first chance to see Dillon Gabriel in a semi-pressure situation, 3rd and 10. We'll see what he does here. The first pass, he just kind of overshot him. He didn't get his feet set. The second pass, he tried to squeeze it in there. So let's see what he does on this 3rd down.
3rd and 10 for the Browns. Gabriel across the middle, connects. Whitehart gets flipped head over heels, but it's another first down.
Gabriel stands in there, makes a good throw to the tight end. These safeties and these safeties for the Rams are smacking. They just upended Whitehart. Let's see, is he in? Whitehart? I think he might be in. I think that's him, 82. But these safeties are hitting. So far, so good for Dillon Gabriel on the long 3rd down. Let's see if we can get in the touchdown here.
Make those plays on 3rd down, finding the window, delivering a catchable ball.
Marshall picks his way forward to about the 10. Not much there. So how would you assess the play of the 2 rookie quarterbacks so far?
They've both been very impressive, I would say, and it has not looked like the moment was too big for them, which so many times, I mean, having a billion rookie quarterbacks, you see them in practice, they're doing good stuff, you feel like they're making progress. All of a sudden they go out there in the game and they lock up because it is a big deal when you're playing in the NFL. I don't care what program you came from. This is a different level of pressure. This is a different level of reading the defense and decision making. And both those guys have shown very cool, calm poise when they're back there at quarterback.
Gabriel looking in and out of the hands of Gage Larvadan, who's had an outstanding camp. But I had it at about the 5. Instead, it'll be 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8. Gage Larvadan dropped that through his hands. Gabriel put some heat on it going to the outside. We're in the red zone. We're going to see if this leads to touchdowns or if this leads to field goals. This is another area where you want to judge quarterbacks. Their decision-making in the red zone, if they can get you touchdowns. Let's see what happens.
Just get the ball out of his hands quick. Get it to your playmaker. Unfortunately, Jamari Or sorry, that was Gage Larvin, and lets the ball slip right through his fingers.
3rd and 8. Gabriel retreats, rolls left. He's got some space. He throws incomplete. He was looking for Thrash in the corner of the end zone and couldn't quite get it done. So the Browns will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Browns get a little bit of pressure there from the right tackle getting pushed into the quarterback.
Gabriel was good on the rollout, but that was a tough pass. It looks like he could have went for Caden Davis there coming across the screen, but field goal attempt is here. What we got in there? We got Dustin Hopkins in there on the field goal attempt.
This got cleared last week to return to team, and then the game. The field goal is good by Dustin Hopkins, and the Browns have yet another scoring.
So they do. Dillon does lead them on the scoring drive. Instead of getting 7, they get 3. Dustin Hopkins makes the field goal, but it's another field goal kind of veering to the right. Dustin Hopkins, man, I don't want to see us lose games because Dustin Hopkins is missing kicks, but it's just not looking good for him. It's not looking good for him. We are on a commercial break. The Browns are leading 10-0, which we should see the Browns lead in this game, considering the Rams didn't play their starters. Let's see. Jump back in the tab. I'm just gonna do a quick update my browser here to see if I can get up to speed to catch up to Q5. Give me just a second, y'all. Man, my bot got you. I started reading your message, Q5. Yeah, he's doing a lot of rolling to his left. I want to see when he rolls to his right and see how it does. He did have one play where he rolled to his right. On that play, he overthrew the receiver. He was high, so the accuracy just wasn't the same. Gino, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I'm like, hey, y'all know why we here. Let's go ahead and move this thing forward. Yeah, and Q5, you know teams are going to force him. They're not just going to give him his left. They're going to force him to his right and say, can you beat us rolling that way? So, all right, where's this sound? Let's get the sound here.
DeMonte KZ, Christopher Edmonds in on the stop.
Worst come to worst, it's about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. I'm just going to tell y'all, I'm having a feeling the way they played Joe Flacco into the second quarter, I'm getting the feeling that they might play Gabriel into the third quarter. And it's almost like they want to get them a certain number of reps, it seems like. So hopefully they don't make us wait till the fourth quarter for Shadour. That's just going to be crazy. You are right, Gino. His feet get happy as soon as he has a little bit of pressure. As soon as he has a little bit of pressure, his feet just get happy. So you're gonna have to deal with pressure in the NFL. It's not that often that you just get the perfect pocket.
For pass catchers, what's the confidence to be gleaned from that?
Well, yeah, I don't think it was anything perfect, but, to just get little completions, get the ball in guys' hands, and then just see what they can do with it. I mean, you saw a little bit of that in the third down that I hit our back out of the backfield with.
So I don't know what is going on here. It looks like the receiver clearly slid out of bounds, and they just let the play keep going. I guess just in case if you want to do it for replay, but they let him run all the way into the touchdown, so I don't know what that was about. But he clearly looked like he slid in the white and he was out of bounds. So we're gonna see what that's about. They're just talking to Joe Flacco like the play didn't happen. But let's see what happens.
that he's going to be the guy that's under center for you, and I think it's just a good way to give everybody confidence going into the season. Like I said, I'm going to be that same person no matter what. But yeah, it feels good to be able to look at the guys in the eye now, knowing that I'm going to be out there with them on Sunday.
The conversation surrounding this team, of course, is the makeup of the quarterback room and how deep it will actually go. This many years in, how much do you think about what sort of support you'd like in that room?
You know, it's funny. I think I probably take for granted what's in that, what that room is all about, because I've been part of a QB room for so long. But it's a special place. You know, it's one of the toughest positions to play in sports. So to have a room that you can kind of all go in and feel good about, and you know, kind of bounce things off of each other, and also just have good laughs and have good relationships with, is important. And I probably do take that for granted a little bit. Listen, we got a good room, you know. We got a lot of guys that like to have fun, and a lot of guys that are learning football. You know, they're young and they're anxious to learn, and it makes for a good environment, and it keeps me, you know, on my toes, and you know, I'm loving every bit of it.
Keeps you young too.
Of course, you know, hanging around these guys at least gives me the illusion that I'm still a young guy. So.
Last one. Do you think that your children enjoyed this performance?
I'll be interested to see how much of it they watched, or if they're swimming or doing something like that. They enjoyed it. I don't know if they're going to tell me that, but they enjoyed it. They're enjoying every bit of this. And not, honestly, like them enjoying it the way they are is one of the big reasons why I'm still able to do this and have so much fun with it. They make it that much more special. So.
Well, hopefully Daniel believes you are indeed the starter.
That's right.
We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Best of luck this year.
Appreciate it.
Joe, you're allowed to run home and tell your kids you are indeed the starter. Whether they believe you or don't want to believe you, you are the week 1 starter.
Sounds like they're going to have to find him at the swimming pool, though.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're not going to be glued to the TV, apparently.
A couple of big pass plays to their second-round pick, Terrence Ferguson, have gotten the Rams in the red zone for the first time today. In fact, they hadn't run a play in Cleveland territory until this drive. Dresser win. Looking, plenty of time. He's got space along the left side. Rolls, throws, completes. That is a nice catch there by Drake Stoops. Gets it down close to the goal line, inside the 2.
Man, the Browns secondary, I'm nervous about our cornerbacks. Once you get past, dang, that was a great catch. Got his toes down. Once you go past Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward, I just don't know what we're going to get. Good tackle there, number 23. It's still 2nd and goal.
Get in for the score. Rams are on the move, down 10-0 at the 2-minute warning.
All right, they're stringing us along. They're making sure they get the views for this game, because like I was telling y'all just a little bit ago, I got a feeling Shadour is not going to be in at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Only because it doesn't seem like they got that would be 1 drive for Gabriel, and they got Joe Flacco got 3 drives, so they're probably going to try to give Gabriel the same. One of the things that happened in all of training camp, everybody said that Dillon Gabriel struggled in the red zone, and it was just hard for him to score touchdowns. And we're seeing it here. His first time out, they didn't let him throw the ball the first time in the red zone. We ran it in for a touchdown. This time, you see, we end up with a field goal, just because, you know, as it gets more condensed, more compressed, it gets a little bit harder for you. And teams can steer where you actually, if you just continuously send the pressure from his left side, he's going to have to roll right, and he just doesn't. It's a harder throw when you got to roll right for a left-handed quarterback. So we're going to see. Am I still far behind y'all? Q5, am I still a minute behind you after I went and reloaded up my stuff? Still got the commercial break going. Let's see what else is going on here. I think it was one more thing I wanted to show y'all that I saw from Shadour, and I was like, all right, he is confident for the game. Reasons why I think he's going to do well. All right, cool. Appreciate that. Yeah, this streaming this through NFL Plus it's kind of different, man. It's kind of clunky. It's not like, like if you're playing something off YouTube, you're playing something off X, it just moves smooth. This NFL Plus is kind of clunky. So hopefully when the season starts with the YouTube, hopefully the YouTube stuff is way better with like how close you are in sync with everything else that's happening. So the NFL Plus goes to NFL.com, and NFL.com's website isn't the best. Let's see. This Shedeur walking in with his entourage. Let's see if TMZ reposts this and says Shedeur walking in with his entourage again. Did y'all see this? So I think this might be some of the rookies. They dressed these rookies up in 2005 or 2008 draft class clothes. So they wearing these super baggy suits. I'm like, man, what is this about? All right, we back to the game. Let's go.
Ben's trying to stiffen here on 2nd and goal. Schrader in the backfield. Play fake to him. Win. Throws. Touchdown, Stoops. And somewhere, Papa Bob, the former Oklahoma Sooners coach, is celebrating his son's touchdown.
Rams do a good job. They're faking the jet sweep in one direction. All the blocking goes in the same direction, and then you boot out. And a lot of times on the backside, you get Stoops, you get those backside receivers acting like they're.
Nobody went with the receiver. As good as our defense looks at times, the last couple years under Jim Schwartz, we've really struggled with not bootlegs, but Adam, I agree with you. I don't think we need Kenny Pickett. I don't know what they see in Kenny Pickett, but Kenny Pickett, with the Kenny Pickett situation and Kevin Stefanski being so complimentary of him, I think about how they spoke on Travis Hunter pre-draft, and they just couldn't speak up Travis Hunter enough, and then they already knew they had that pick ready there to trade it. So I think about that, and I'm like, are they just speaking him up and saying he's this great teammate to try to get some trade value out of him so they can get rid of him? Because the Browns aren't a good enough team to try to do all these extra things. They got to focus on winning. And they probably got some assurances from the owner that we're going to bring you back because of, different circumstances. But if the Browns go out here and win another 3 games, they all going to get fired. So you still got to have it in your mind that you still got to produce. So what we're going to see, man, I don't get the Kenny Pickett thing. I don't get the Kenny Pickett thing at all. But jet sweeps and just motion, the Browns have struggled with that a lot the last couple of years under Jim Schwartz. So that's something they got to clean up. That was just like a fake jet sweep, play action rollout. Nobody went with the receiver that he's been targeting the most. So just, man, we can't have these blown coverages. I know it's the preseason, but what you put on film and what you continuously do, that's who you're going to be. So when people make the excuses for turnovers for quarterbacks, it's the same way. Say, oh, they're just going to clean it up. I agree, Adam. I called it from the beginning. I was like, this is not going to work because most teams run 3 quarterbacks. That third quarterback is on scout team. The starter's going to get 90% of the reps. The backup's going to get 10% of the reps. But you have 4 of them. So you're not running 2 separate scout teams. Like, it's make a decision. Just make a decision and live with the decision. And indecision is a poor decision. So if you just like, man, we don't know if Shedeur and Gabriel are ready to be backups. Well, if you haven't got them ready to be backups and you got to keep a 4th one because of that, then that is more on the team and development than it is on the actual players. And Gabriel should be ready to be the backup in theory because he got the most reps. They treated him like he was a 1st-round pick. So in theory, Gabriel should be ready because of the amount of reps and what they've poured into him. So if Gabriel isn't ready, that is on the Cleveland Browns. That's not really on anybody else. I mean, they picked him. They put him up there. So I would prefer to put Shedeur as the number 2 if you're gonna start with Flacco, but they just, I don't know, man. I think part of it is pride. They don't want to be viewed as wrong so early when they made that outrageous pick for Dillon Gabriel.
Doesn't even make it to the 15 before he gets wrapped up. I'd like to take a moment to welcome our
Dillon Gabriel back in, coming out for a second drive. This is going to be a 2-minute drive. Browns have 2 timeouts. See, I'm a Browns fan. I wanted Shedeur before the draft, so I don't want to see Shedeur on the practice squad. I agree, Gino. Yeah, that's why I said, like, Gabriel should be in position to be the backup with all the reps he got. And, yeah, Whiskey Voyage, I can't go for that, man. I wanted Shedeur pre-draft, so I definitely want to keep Shedeur.
Game in the backfield. Gabriel to throw. Looks, throws, completes. First down, that is Gage Larvadan with the clock running. Aditi?
Chris, 2 not ideal updates. Tight end Blake Whiteheart is out with a knee, and Pierre Strong is being evaluated for a concussion right now.
All right, thank you so much. Browns have had to deal with their share of injuries all preseason long. Another connection, that to Deontay Johnson for the first time, the veteran, trying to make it at the back end.
Those were those 2 hits. Yeah, they could have doubled up. They could have got both of them. For some reason, I didn't think they were going to take Travis Hunter because you see how the Browns can't really figure out. I agree, Q5. You see how the Browns can't really figure out how to do things with Shedeur. Them having the pressure of Hunter and Shedeur, man, the Browns, they would be crying every day. They wouldn't know what to do with that. They wouldn't know what to do with that at all. 2 Browns player out. Pierre Strong evaluated for a concussion. Whiteheart, the tight end. That was 2 big hits. Remember I was telling you all those big hits from the safety? Man, he is knocking guys out the game. Like, he's coming down, flying in fast. He hit Pierre Strong twice, and it was just big hit. So let's see how they do. 2nd and 10, 1:23. Browns got 2 timeouts.
And make a game-changing play for the Rams in 2 minutes.
Whistles and a timeout by the Rams.
Charge timeout. Los Angeles. Their second. It will be 30 seconds.
So we expect to see Dillon Gabriel play into the second half, and then Shadour Sanders will make his home debut, and that is going to be very interesting because Shadour Sanders, boy, he has had a ton of fans, a groundswell of support ever since really his days at Jackson State. It followed him to Colorado and then through the draft process, which was a...
Adam, my bot got you, but I read your message, so let me read it out for anybody that missed it. At this point, it should be Flacco, Shedeur, then Gabriel. I'm a Shedeur fan, but I think Gabriel's been fine for a rookie. They can be on the same team. I think they can be on the same team as long as Dillon Gabriel doesn't build up like animosity towards Shedeur.
Gabriel doing and saying all the right things and then playing great in his first opportunity a couple weeks ago.
Gabriel crosses the middle, connects, gets the ball into Rams territory as Larvadan with a nice connection. Gets it down to the Rams 47, clock running. Cleveland still with 2 timeouts. Gabriel throws, thrash, first down again.
Dillon Gabriel doing a great job with quick decisions, throwing the...
Yeah, Gabriel's not looking bad on this drive right here. Getting in for a touchdown would be really good running a 2-minute offense. Still got 2 timeouts in their back pocket, too.
Off with the outside corner and make a jump on those routes.
Gabriel 1st and 10, dumps it down. Trevion Williams gets it to the 30, and the Browns utilize their 2nd timeout.
Man, that's another big hit by that safety. Man, I can't even see what number he is, but man, this safety has been smacking Browns players. Dillon Gabriel looking good on this drive so far. We'll see if it leads to a touchdown or 3 points. I mean, they're past the 50, so not that far away. It's showing they're at the 30, so just right outside of the red zone, close to field goal range. So we'll see what he does here. Got the potential to go in for a score. I think it will look good on Gabriel. I'm not one of those people who just hates everything Gabriel does. I don't think Gabriel's good as Shedeur. I think he has more limitations. I don't think he has the upside. But Vonsil, I'm hoping because they got us waiting. They got us waiting. I don't know if you heard the announcer just say, "Oh, Dillon Gabriel's gonna play into the second half." I'm like, man, oh man.
Quarterback position is something you're learning as a rookie.
Gabriel, a ton of experience in FBS records, 63 starts across 3 different schools. Gabriel throws wide open. Sal Cannella for the first time inside the 25. Cannella, a first-year man out of Auburn. He's done some nice things in the preseason games.
Yeah, Canella's done a really nice job there. We got Gage Larvadan as the wide receiver out wide there, of course. That's what they call him, the wide receiver. And just throwing a nice little pick for Sal Cannella, being able to run towards the sideline. Well, when I said it, I realized how silly it sounds, but that's why they call it the wide receiver. But it's a twins, a 2-by-2 formation, and Dillon Gabriel picking a side, going to it quickly, being really decisive in the 2-minute drill.
1st and 10, Gabriel over Larvadan. And that is one of those balls that is dangerous for the receiver.
I will say this. When Gabriel misses and he misses high, man, those are just medicine balls for your receiver. Larvadan took a big hit there going up for the ball. His back was exposed. He gets back up, but he's going to the sideline. That's a medicine ball, man. You can't put your receiver in that position.
Part of the field, but when it gets tipped, it leaves your receiver in a vulnerable position.
2nd and 10. Brown still with one more timeout to go. They're going to set up a screen. He's got blockers in front of him. And gets down to the 20, and the Browns will have to use their last timeout as Trevion Williams was stopped. Actually, nice job. It looked like the waters were going to part for him, and then quickly swallowed up by the Rams defense.
Yeah, that could be true. Q5. I just got confidence in Shedeur, and I got that confidence because he looks confident. The most pressure he was ever going to face was when he went in on short notice against Carolina. Once he got through that, he got the speed down. I agree with that too, Vonsil. I think he's going to be fine. I think that he's relaxed. He looks comfortable. And I got faith in his ability, so I think he'll be fine. They ran a screenplay there. I mean, if you're Gabriel, you definitely want to lead this for a touchdown. You don't want to just get 3 out of this. You want a touchdown.
Will burn their final timeout.
Los Angeles.
It's a 3rd and 7, so the Rams are playing the game. So they waited for the Browns to line up, see what formation they were in, call the timeout so they can get their defense set, so they can get an idea of what the Browns wanted to do. So should be a 30-second timeout. Yeah, I agree, Vontae. So I'm not worried because the same time, they still have to not look crazy when Shedeur goes out there. So even if they give him a little bit of time, they still got to call plays. They still got to, not look crazy to make it super obvious that they're, putting him in a rough spot. So I think he'll be fine.
7 of 9 for 67 yards.
All right, 3rd and 7. What you gonna do, Dillon?
Gabriel looks left, throws, connects for the first down inside the 5.
Now that was a nice throw. I'm gonna give it to him.
Great job by Thrash.
I gotta give it to Dillon there. That was a nice throw. Got that through. It's funny. The fans just sitting there watching. They don't care. Nice throw. Nice decision. Yeah, that was a good throw. You got to give it to him there.
Getting those feet inbounds and giving the Browns an opportunity here inside the 5-yard line.
Browns have 1st and goal at the 3. Williams
no timeout, so it looks like they're going to be throwing. I don't think they're going to have time to run.
Gabriel looks, throws, wide open, Larvadan, touchdown.
All right, good drive. Good drive there. good job there for Gabriel. He led the 2-minute offense. They did burn the 2 timeouts, but they got up. They got the touchdown. So that's definitely a good look for Gabriel there. Let's see when they show the replay. Busted coverage. That was a busted coverage. Number 34, they double teamed the running back out the backfield, and they left Gage wide open. So, man, that's gonna be brutal in the film room. They're gonna really get on that corner. Like, what are you doing? How do you leave the receiver and double? Oh my goodness. Dustin Hopkins missed another extra point attempt. The Browns are gonna have to find a kicker. This is crazy. Last year, Dustin Hopkins missed so many kicks. He can't make extra points. Like, they have to find a kicker. This is crazy. That should be like, the pressure is not on the line when you are kicking long field goals. When you are kicking an extra point, yeah, I agree. This is way better film for Gabriel than last week. So when everybody was saying, "Oh, he did good last week," now what are you going to say this week? Are you going to say Gabriel looks great? You're going, so by them setting the bar higher to overlook his shortcomings last week, now they got to go crazy with this one. Hey, Gino, we can't do it. we can't do it. We're gonna have to pass on Justin Tucker. That's gonna be a no for me, dog. That's gonna be a no. But we definitely need a kicker, man. You missing extra points and you missing them crazy. The first extra point was funky, going from left to right to go in. This one just went from right to left because he's overcompensating for what he just did. So they're talking about Gage Larverdin when he put up a post on X, and I just called a touchdown pass for Mr. Flacco. Let's get the sound back up.
Right, because, I mean, everybody that's watching at home, these guys are living our dream. I mean, even though I did get to play, I still get jealous of what these guys get to do out here, play in front of a huge crowd. Maybe not huge today, but on a normal situation. But it's just such an honor to be able to go wear the orange and brown and the NFL shield and go out and play a kid's game for a king's ransom. That's what we always said, and it's fun to see that joy from these guys.
So Joe Flacco and the first stringers, they got on the board early on. Dillon Gabriel and the backups, a couple.
Yeah, Cuzzo, he throwing those medicine balls, man. He got to be careful. I mean, every week somebody is getting smacked. I mean, he got a tight end smacked. Tight end is out the game. He threw that high pass for Gage. So you can't miss high because you put your receiver in harm's way. I agree. Yeah, and so he's throwing high because you rather throw it high and hope no defender is behind it. But if you throw it low, you might linebacker might be able to get to it. So, I mean, he's doing it for a reason, but that's one of the shortcomings when it comes to having, no pun intended with that, having a shorter quarterback. So now we got a first half down. What's the grade for Joe Flacco? We saw Joe Flacco come out here. He had a 3-and-out, then he led a touchdown drive. So what's the grade on Joe Flacco? Me, I would give Joe Flacco. He didn't really miss any throws. I would give Joe Flacco a B. It wasn't perfect. He did have a 3-and-out, so I would give him a B. Dillon Gabriel. What grade would y'all give Dillon Gabriel? I got to think about Dillon Gabriel for a second. He led 2 scoring drives. He threw a couple medicine balls. No turnovers, no picks. I think I would give Dillon Gabriel a B. I would give him a B for this so far. We're going to see what he does in the second half. See, if the Browns were thinking about the confidence of their players, they wouldn't let Dillon Gabriel play in the second half. You would just go out on that high note because then you would have Flacco leading the scoring drive, Gabriel leading 2 scoring drives. You would go right to Shedeur. Because the only thing is Dillon Gabriel can come in and something can go bad. B plus. Q5, you got B plus for Flacco or Gabriel or both? I got a B for both of them. I think you're right. I think I would give Gabriel a B plus and I would give Flacco a B. Yeah, I think you're right. I agree with you there. Because now that I just really just think about it for a second, he led 2 scoring drives. He didn't have any turnovers. They didn't have any penalties. So yeah, I think I would give Gabriel a little bit higher than Flacco. Flacco had that first 3 and out. That first pass he threw to Judy. Judy could have caught it, but he threw it low. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you. Now that you said that got me thinking. I'm like, yeah, I think I would give Gabriel a B plus. Flacco, I would give Flacco a B. That first 3 and out, I'm just thinking back to it, and I'm like, okay, you had 2 opportunities to get 5 yards. You threw a low to Judy, making it a harder pass to need to be. Then you came up short. Gino, I agree. But how do you score that then? So if Flacco only had the 1 scoring drive, I think they gave Flacco 3 drives. How would you score that? What grade would you give Flacco for his time? See, I think it's hard to give Flacco less than a B because he didn't have any. I mean, when you don't have any turnovers, I think you're gonna be in that B range. I think once you get to a C is when you start having turnovers to me, or you're missing a lot of throws. I think Gabriel did solid. Now, that's my issue with how people graded Gabriel's first game. Gabriel clearly looked better this game than he did last game. So if you gave Gabriel a B for his last game with 2 turnovers, how are you giving him an A plus for this? You know what I'm saying? So it's when you put weight on the scale when you don't need to, that's when stuff is gonna look crazy. That's why I would give this grade for Gabriel. I would give him C plus B minus is how you guys grade it. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just ready for 12. That's what I'm here to see. I'm surprised with some of the guys who got work in early. I mean, Larvidan was in there with Flacco, so is Shedeur going to get? I wonder who Shedeur going to be throwing to now. I mean, is he going to be throwing to Deontay Johnson, who didn't seem like he got that many plays in the first half? Tight end, it looks like he'll be throwing to. Is his name Salmon? Let me see that tight end's name. Sal Cannella. I don't know why I wanted. Man, I screwed that up. Sal Cannella, he's going to be throwing it to him. And for receiver, it looks like he's going to be throwing it to maybe McDonald and Caden Davis, maybe? Yeah, Gage. If he wouldn't have threw that touchdown pass to Gage Larvidan, Gage probably gave him a C minus. Like, bro, you trying to get me killed out here? Q5. I don't know if he's. I don't think he's good at that. We had 2 opportunities where he could have made a play when he was on the run. He rolled out to the right. He overthrew a guy. And then when he rolled out to the left, he threw a pass. It was a safe, so it was like down and outside. So it was safe. So I don't know if Gabriel's good off script. The 2 times he went off script, he didn't do anything with it. I don't know if that's his game, and I don't know if he could. I don't know if that's something we could bank on. He's gonna be able to make the best of. Some guy just playing structure. See, I think that's where when you're looking at a quarterback and you say this guy can only play in structure, he can only play when things are great. I just don't know how that guy could be in line to have the potential to be a franchise quarterback, because it's going to be times when stuff is out of structure. Look at Brock Purdy. That was the big knock on Brock Purdy. It was like, okay, he's good when he has all this stuff around him, but he didn't look as good last year when he didn't have all the weapons around him. So I think you kind of have a ceiling unless you just have like a great team like the 49ers were 3 years ago. The Eagles have been. Those guys can get away without having to definitely Q5, definitely game manager. I was saying it in a nice roundabout way, but you got straight to it. Dillon Gabriel was a game manager. That's it's funny. That goes back to Cam Newton. Remember all the backlash that Cam faced where he was saying these guys are game managers and these guys are game changers? He's a game manager. That was the nicest way I could put game manager. I need to get my phone plugged up. And it was crazy because everybody went at Cam Newton crazy for that take. But in the end, that's the only downside I have with the media. When they are so wrong about something they disagree with, they'll never come back and say, yeah, I was wrong on that. Like, come on now. They went at Cam. They talked about how he dressed. They talked about him not diving on the football. They talked about all those things. But then in the end, it looked like Kirk Cousins was stealing money from the Atlanta Falcons. So he wasn't wrong about that. Brock Purdy didn't look the same without all his weapons, so he wasn't wrong about that. Dak Prescott is taking advantage of Jerry Jones because Jerry Jones think he's winning these negotiations, but he's taking L's in every one. And do y'all see Dak Prescott as more than a game manager? Do y'all see Dak Prescott getting the team over the hump and winning the Super Bowl? I don't see it. I don't see it. I wish I had a clock for how long we had. They call Lamar game manager? Or are you saying if? Okay. Ooh. I had to check my eyes. I was like, yeah. See, I think that players would never call Lamar a game manager, but I think the media would try to call him a game manager. So you're right. Joshua, I agree with that. I agree. He plays in the system, which, I mean, Kevin Stefanski likes a system QB until you get to the playoffs and you realize your system might get thrown off and you see me, Q5, I had to check. I was like, oh, okay, I see the if. I was like, I was tripping there for a second. I kind of glitched. I had to read it twice. But Kevin Stefanski, he likes a system QB, but a system QB doesn't get you wins in the playoffs. They don't do it. Because it's going to be stuff that happens and you got to go off script in the playoffs. There's going to be times where you're going to have communication bust and, you know, a guy might come free and you're going to need somebody to have enough wiggle or enough pocket presence to still make something happen. So that's the limitations of being a system QB. I think they're playing the Browns are doing a girls flag football game during halftime, and it looked like the game was still going on when they showed it. So we might have a couple more minutes before we get to the second half. I'll be right back, y'all. I'm gonna get a quick break in. Yeah, don't look. Actually, I might not get a break in. Let me see.
The Browns seem to say this a lot this preseason. Dominated the first half. Look at that. Almost 250 yards of total offense. 17 first downs. Rams had one really good drive, to their credit, with their kind of third and fourth stringers, but that's right. That's the Hall of Famer Joe Thomas eyeing Chris Rose. You want to look at a special play I've got for you?
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's the first half highlight. That would be singular, if you don't mind. Presented by Pet Supplies Plus. Pet Supplies Plus.
Yeah,
turf for happy pets.
I think they're gonna go with Dillon Gabriel next. That's what the announcer said during the first half. So if they were smart, they would let Dillon Gabriel go out of a riding a high off of leading that 2-minute drill. But I don't think they are. Give me a second. Give me 30 seconds, y'all. I'll be right back.
The man covering him was following Dillon's eyes.
So we expect him to start the second half and then turn it over to Shadour Sanders. Joe Flacco completed his last 9 passes, had a touchdown toss to the rookie third-rounder, Harold Fannin, who I think is going to be an awesome weapon. It was the first time we saw him do something here. And
it was fun to watch him, right? Just his ability to separate, right? He's just such a great athlete. He's got those great hands. He caught the ball on a little skinny post into the end zone, knowing that he was going to receive some contact, pulls it in, holds on to it all the way to the ground, just hopefully giving Browns fans a little preview of what we got in store for us this season with a couple dynamic pass catchers at tight end.
Well, Shadour Sanders does have his helmet on. Dillon Gabriel does not. I'm no detective, but I think that means that perhaps Shadour is about to enter the game.
I thought you were going to say, but I play one on TV?
No, I definitely don't. Play a lot of roles.
That's not one of them.
That's not one of them.
Uh-oh.
That's a bad kick that's shy of the 20-yard line, and so it's going to be a problem for the Rams.
Landing zone infraction, kicking team. The ball be placed at the 40-yard line, first down.
And here comes Shadour Sanders for the first time in Cleveland. Loved by many.
Y'all see what it is. Y'all see who's walking on the field.
National story throughout
I made it back
camp.
just in time. Just in time.
Did not play last week in the win over the Eagles.
The wait is over.
Week injury, but lit up the Carolina skyline. His
The wait is
NFL
over.
debut. And Sanders to throw. Flushed out of the pocket, looking, dumps it down and connects with Sal Cannella for a gain of about 5.5. So Shadour Sanders, your quarterback profile, presented to you by Huntington Bank. In that season opening win over the Panthers, 14-23, almost 140 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Most importantly, did not turn it over that day.
And to me, that was really the big difference between the 2 rookie quarterbacks, Dillon Gabriel with the 2 turnovers credited to him in his start. Shadour Sanders was clean with 0 in his start.
Amani Marshall in the backfield and gets it on second down and gets nowhere. Maybe loses a half yard. So Shadour, as we mentioned in the first half, has done and said all the right things. There's been a lot of people, a lot of
Voncio, I got back. I saw Shadour walking on the field. I was like, let's go. See, that's the smart thing to do. The smart thing to do is let Dillon Gabriel get out of there, leaving on a high note, and go right to Shadour. So it's good for Dillon Gabriel. It's even better for us.
If you allow it, but he's just done a great job showing maturity, keeping it about, hey, I'm just trying to get better. I'm just trying to help the team. And he's really been everything the Browns have wanted when they drafted him.
3rd and 5, Sanders is going to run, and he will not get to the first down. Picks up maybe a yard, and it'll be 3 and out for the Browns on their opening drive of the second half.
Protection just not there, but good decision by Shadour. Like, every drive's not going to end in a touchdown, so you don't have to force it sometimes. The first play of the drive, he does a nice job picking up some yardage instead of throwing it away. He throws it to Cannella, and then the run kind of got blown up. Not really great block by the offensive line up front, and then a good decision there. Just take a couple yards, try to scramble, but let him punt.
End over end. Stoops calls for the fair catch right next to a flag. By the way, the refs have made a lineup change as well. Brad Allen, head referee, is going to sit this half out. Chad Hill has taken over.
Player out of bounds on a kick, number 26 of the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, first down.
All right, so we see Shadour in his first action coming in the second half. He made something happen on that first down. Second down, running play got blown up in the backfield. Third down, nobody could get open for him. He ran. He didn't force a throw. So he just accepted what the defense gave him. And we're going to see what happens on his next opportunity. We got our first commercial break. I find it funny. So Joe Thomas, when he was describing Shadour Sanders playing versus Dillon Gabriel playing, he said, yeah, but the difference was, you know, Dillon had those turnovers that he's accounted for. And it's like, I don't understand the wording they use sometimes. Like, that he's accounted for. He threw the interception. Like, you can't take it away like he didn't throw it. He did it. So it's just one of them things. But I'm happy the wait is over. We get to see Shedeur. Not what we wanted to see on that first drive, but he made the best of it, and we'll see what he does from here. Actually, let me take a little note. I want to keep track of my grades I gave people and why. So then at the end of this, I'll also give Shedeur his grade as well. I don't know if it's just me because we've been waiting to see Shedeur get out there. Man, I feel like the commercial breaks get longer when Shedeur get in the game. Yeah, we got another commercial. Yeah, it could just be me. All right, let's see. I agree. He has to get into a rhythm, and you think about it, like you have so much adrenaline, which is a little bit different from college. You have so much adrenaline early, and then you sit there and you wait a whole half before you get to get in. His college, especially in Colorado, they started off slow quite a bit. But see, this one, I wouldn't really put those 3 plays. I wouldn't put that on him because it just wasn't much they could do. Yeah, facts. I was like, look how long this commercial is after a 3 and out. Like, this is a long commercial break to start the second half. All right, we back.
Toyota. For all Toyota offers, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. We welcome in the architect of the Cleveland Browns, Andrew Berry. It's our yearly visit.
That's right, Chris.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Boy, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about. You want to start with quarterbacks?
We can start with quarterbacks.
Okay,
that's no problem.
Let's do it. Joe Flacco obviously named the starter this past week, and a lot of people are wondering, what's the plan for the rookies moving forward? How do you balance getting a team ready for a game and developing 2 rookies that you drafted on the fly?
Well, one of the 2 primary
Brandon, I agree with you. That's how you notice. That's how you see things pick up. Like, that's why the running play couldn't get anywhere after running the ball better in the first half. When you have a different offensive line, they don't have the skill set of the guys who play ahead of them. That's why they're not the starters. So that's definitely plays a factor into it.
Situation at the quarterback position, I got to give Kevin, Tommy Breeze, Bill Musgrave a lot of credit in terms of how they designed and redesigned practices to make sure that these young players behind the scenes can get the reps necessary to improve.
What sort of things have they done in practice to redesign that practice schedule to make sure that those guys are getting
I think Shedeur will be good.
They need to continue their development.
Yeah, that's a great question, Joe. I think probably the easiest example for anyone who has come out to the training camp practices is our approach with what we call 2 spotting. So essentially during 7-on-7 and some team periods, we'll run 2 concurrent offensive groups. So essentially you have almost like a split squad where you have the 2 young kids on one field, you have the veterans on the other, and you run the same period concurrently, which allows all the players to get the necessary reps.
It's almost a little bit like how colleges run their practice, because they've got 100+ guys. They got to have 2 practices basically going on at the same time to get the reps that they need.
How do you determine whether or not you're comfortable with one of those guys or both of them being 1 snap away?
Yeah, so first of all, we have a lot of belief in both Dillon and Shedeur, and both of those guys have had an excellent preseason to date. And a big part of it is, like, we measure and track everything in practice. You know, every throw, every decision, footwork, you name it. And we talk about the tangible progress that we're seeing on a weekly basis. Now, nothing is a substitute for competitive game situations, you know, whether it's in the preseason and then certainly the regular season. So with any rookie player, not just quarterbacks, there is a little bit of a leap of faith, but we've been able to see their progress in real time, which gives us the confidence with both guys.
You always want to see your great players that are making plays in practice carry that over to game day. And as a rookie, that's always a question, right? Are they the same guy in practice?
That's right.
As we're going to see on game day. So for those two quarterbacks specifically, after tracking and watching them practice, how have you seen that carry over to how they play on game day?
Yeah, you know, Joe, you hit the nail on the head. I call it sometimes players get stage fright. You know, not, you know, maybe not, you know, realistically, but just how they actually perform. And it's been great to see Dillon and Shadour perform under the lights. Those guys, they prepare their tails off. And I think the cooler part is,
I've been trying to listen to Andrew Berry and what he's saying, and he's not saying anything. He's not saying nothing.
Can't get hit. And in these settings, it's real football, and to see them be able to produce out of structure, that's probably been the most encouraging thing.
Browns make a nice play on Shedeur, who's trying just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Good job by Cam Thomas and also Aiden Huntington, who's been a really nice pickup by you. Done some great things on special teams and defense as well. Let's continue a little bit more with the quarterback situation. Everybody's saying, well, the Browns can't keep 4 quarterbacks. So how do you wrestle with that over the next 72 hours?
You know, honestly, it's not much of a decision for us. All 4 guys have done what we've asked. Obviously, 3 of them have dealt with injuries throughout their time here. But you know, the reality of it is, 53-man roster. You have great players.
Yeah, there you go. You can get a little excited, Andrew Berry.
Great player.
That's right, Cameron Thomas. Do your thing.
You know, you have 53 roster spots. 5 are really developmental or inactive spots. Plus, post-COVID, the roster rules are just so much more flexible that you can build your 48 game day roster, unless you're wiped out from injury, like pretty creatively. Quarterback, it's the most important position in sports. We have a room that we like all the guys in there, so we don't really see that as a problem. We really more see it as an opportunity.
So it typically means that if you're keeping 4 quarterbacks, you got to make some harder decisions in some of those other position rooms. Is there another position room that you're looking at and saying, hey, we got a guy that maybe can play a couple positions, so you almost get a 2-for-1 if we keep that player, and so we can go maybe a little bit lighter than we normally would in this position group because we are keeping those 4 quarterbacks?
Yeah, really it's probably in our linebacker and safety rooms, because in our defense, call it the strong safety or quarter position, really has a bit of a blend, you know, with our second level defenders. And so some of the players in each of those rooms, they can live in both worlds, so to speak, and that does give us some roster flexibility as we build out the 53.
Gage Larvidan taking it from his 8, takes a big hit with a 5-yard return.
Man, number 34 for the Rams has been smacking people all game. Big hit on Gage Larvidan on the punt return there. We get to see our boy 12 is back out there for his second go at it. Andrew Berry basically putting it out there. They keeping 4 quarterbacks, and they're probably the room that's going to be affected is linebacker / safety. So let's see how our boy does on this drive.
You are fluent in English, and now you have to learn Mandarin. You know, it's not even a Germanic language. And his growth really since the spring on, you know, the mental side of things, having command of the offense, has been real impressive. And then the second part is just like his physical and mental toughness. You know, for him to be out here so soon after his oblique injury is really no easy thing, especially for a thrower. And you know, he just loves playing. He loves being on the lights. He loves being there for his teammates, and that's exactly what you want out of your quarterback.
Let's talk a little bit about some other positions on offense. People are curious about Quinshon Judkins.
This offensive line they have out there, man, there's some turnstiles. It's crazy.
You know, that I have an update on in terms of Q. You know, we'll take that day to day and manage the situation appropriately.
2nd and 10. After Marshall had the drop, he'll get it put in his belly and get maybe a yard or 2. You just signed Isaiah Bond this week as well. We saw him on the field for a handful of plays in the first half. What made you comfortable with that signing?
Yeah, a big part of it is, we have gotten to know Isaiah's player person over the past calendar year, and then obviously done a enormous amount of work, on his legal situation. That's something that we never take lightly when a player is involved in a situation or alleged to be involved in a situation like that. And really, we got really comfortable doing our due diligence and our investigative work. Felt comfortable with the player just based on his time with Tommy Reese at Alabama. And after his criminal case was resolved, we felt really good about bringing him into the organization.
Sanders had gotten out of the pocket, overshot Travion Williams down the right side. There are multiple flags down, perhaps ineligible man downfield. Joe will always say that for offensive linemen, that's a tough go.
It's a tough one. Yeah, sometimes you're out there trying to get a block for your quarterback, and you don't realize exactly where you are because you think maybe the quarterback has broken contain and is going to try to take off and run with it. But those are the breaks sometimes. The O-linemen, we're pretty low on the pecking order of if anybody really cares about what we have to say about something or what we think.
Yeah, Joe, I always think about it as I think O-line's the only position in any sport where you play with your back to the ball. And these guys who extend the play or play out of structure, it can make life difficult.
I'll tell you one thing. This third string offensive line that's in there, they're not doing Shedeur no favors. They bought us some time that time, but it seemed like nobody was able to get open. Shedeur looking slightly frustrated, so just settle in, check it out, and just keep going at it, keep plugging away at it. He's not making bad decisions, so that's good. That's a plus. But man, oh man, I tell you, as the quality of player goes down, I'm not gonna say that. As you go further down that depth chart, man, oh man, you really got to make up for the different levels of talent. Yeah, this is on second down and you get in 2 yards on a run, and they're not sending blitzes or anything like that. Where you go from the first half where they're getting 6 and 7 yards to third and short, it's crazy. It's real crazy. So he's getting a little. He's ready to put on the show. He looks a little bit frustrated, but that's all right. Everything can come easy. You just can't get to that point where you succumb to the pressure and you make a bad decision because you're trying to force and put something good on tape. You just let these things come to you. Let them come to you. But I was nervous about the receivers that he was going to have in, because that's what the issue is. It seems like whatever receivers he has in, man, they can't make nothing shake. They can't get away from nobody. So let's see who he could even. Yeah, he's basically playing receivers who probably not going to make the team. Maybe Gage is out there. Yeah, Brandon, it's not looking good. But hopefully he just doesn't make the bad decision. Don't make the bad decision. Keep taking what they give you. If it's nothing there, it's nothing there. Live to play another down. That's all you can do. I'd rather him, take the chance like he tried to throw that wheel route to the running back up the sideline. I'd rather him do stuff like that than him force it in. It's one of I don't think the Browns. I don't think the Browns are the smartest organization. So I just don't know if they're capable of sabotage, because I don't put them high enough in their decision making on how they do things to be able to accomplish that. I mean, we just definitely see that he's not playing with no talent out there.
Scouring the rest of the players who release and players that could really help upgrade at the back end of some of these position groups. So it's usually a pretty busy and a pretty long night, after the cut down, when we're looking either to claim, sign, trade for players that we think can help us in the front in the short term. And then on top of that, we're also signing our 16-member practice squad, which will be comprised of some players.
I agree. No interceptions. I mean, it'd be rough, but people can look at the tape and say, okay, he didn't make the bad decision and have an interception. He took what they gave him. So sometimes that's all you can do.
Prepping for that first game of the season, but you guys had this real long layoff, and you mentioned how cut down day works, but what's the mentality as you're going through this big break here before you actually get into that game week?
I'd say, number one, it's a lot better from my perspective, because it gives you a better chance to really get healthy as you go into week one. In terms of the day-to-day of the team, we have next week, we call it Sharp Week, where we want to make sure we're still high tempo, we're still making.
I think the only opportunity we was going to have to see them run with the same group was preseason game 2, and Shadour had the oblique strain. Because then what we actually get to see, because they view Dillon Gabriel higher than Shadour, but at the same time, they're not working with the same level of talent when they go out there.
Lining him up with Myles Garrett.
We've been very pleased with Mason's progress so far, particularly as an interior rusher. Our vision was, hey, it's very difficult if you have a guy who can really affect the passer on the edge and a guy who can do it on the inside. Myles is always going to get the slide, and that gives a one-on-one opportunity for your interior rusher. Or if they're going to, double Mason or double interior rusher, then you've got the best defensive player on the planet one-on-one against a tackle. So it really puts the offense in a bit of a bind if you can have two guys that are able to do that.
A lot has been made about Mason Graham's role in his Michigan defense, where he was more of a two-gapper, and now where he's penetrating in Jim Schwartz's defense. How has that transition been for him, and what kind of play did you expect out of him as a penetrating guy, as a guy that's more of a disruptor now here with the Browns?
So physically and his playing personality, we felt like it was going to be a really nice fit. He's got quickness, he's got power, he's a really high motor player, he has range. That wasn't necessarily always maximized in what he was asked to do with.
Joshua, I don't think they trade Shadour. They're not going to trade him because the financial implications. So one thing that people don't think about, they don't think about Deshaun Watson's contract on the Browns. So you can't allocate additional money to your quarterback room. So when you got somebody on a 4-year, $4 or $5 million deal at quarterback, you're going to keep him. So another thing is Andrew Berry gives his guys he drafts at least 2 years. So especially late round picks. He forever given a late round pick at least 2 years. Looks like the Browns have somebody down on the field. We're going to get a timeout in. And yeah, they got our boy out there with some they got him out there with some guys who not going to be on the team next week. So it's pretty tough. It is pretty tough. I'm just looking at if you're just watching this, look at the receiver talent that this fourth string quarterback is throwing to for the Rams, who he's fourth string, so he's probably going to be a practice squad guy. Look at the receivers he's throwing to versus who Shadour is throwing to. Only receiver Shadour is throwing to that's kind of done anything is Gage. Once you get past Gage and you get to the Keyshawn Johnson, or you get to the Caden Davis, the Chase Codas, if you are a receiver with a running back number, then you know it's bad. So Cade McDonald is number 31 and Chase Coda is number 38. They got running back numbers, so you know it's all bad. But hey, it's gonna be hard times. Everything is not gonna be easy, but even in those hard times, you just pull it through. Just pull it through and make the best of it with what you got. So he still has some opportunities, and we're a little more than halfway through the third quarter. So I wonder if they're gonna play him the rest of the game. He'll settle in. He's smart enough. He'll figure it out.
Your seats to your favorite matchups today. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets today. I know these good fans are waiting for number 12, used to be number 2 out in Boulder, to get back on the field. And Andrew Berry would love that as well because it means our defense would get the Rams off the field.
That's right. That's right, Chris. Let's get a stop here. Even better, let's get a turnover.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I like where your head's at there. That's a former DB for
That's right.
Harvard. I mean, that's that mentality. I see. Dresser Wynn remains in the game. It's 1st and 10 for the Rams with this play, and then start talking about the Browns secondary. Stoops brought down at the 34. Easton Mascarenas Arnold on the stop. So the secondary obviously suffered a really, really tough blow early in camp with MJ Emerson going down with the Achilles. Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, both nursing shoulder injuries. They're okay. Expect them good to go. Week 1, the whole bit. It's the depth after that that obviously would be a concern for you. Where are you mentally with that?
It's losing MJ. That's a big blow. And quite frankly, we're never going to be able to fully replace that in season. But it does give great opportunity for younger players like Miles Harden and Cam Mitchell to step up. I'll touch on Miles specifically just because he missed most of his rookie year. He was a 7th-round pick out of South Dakota State for us, and he's done a really nice job.
I agree, Monsieur. That's all it is. He gonna be able to pull it through. Everything ain't gonna be sunshine and rainbows. When it's hard, you just got to dig down and do more and pull it through. So he gonna be able to do it.
By the way, that was excellent. 3rd and 7 for Wynn. Completes. Spin and not quite getting the first down is Presley. Good fight, so that's going to bring up 4th and short.
Nice defensive call by Jim Schwartz running that trap corner. I said that Dillon Gabriel has to be worried about where you got your outside cornerback able to fall off and make a big hit, almost disrupts the football there when the ball goes to the inside receiver on an outbreaking route.
All right, are we getting one of these one of the measurements?
Here it is.
Yeah, this is it. It's the Hawkeye virtual measurement system. Now, just so that you know, it measures the ball location relative to the line of gain. It does not spot the ball. That's still human. Got a half dozen cameras on one side of the stadium doing this. Doesn't utilize lasers or chips in the ball. Here we go. Now they say it should take about 30 seconds to do this whole thing. You don't have this system in your backyard, right?
No, I don't. But I'm a huge fan of the Hawkeye technology. Now, 30 seconds for the games I've watched, I will take the over in terms of how long it's taken.
We're still figuring it out.
But I'm just saying, we use lasers. Here we go. I love this. Lasers, tracking technology for track and field, all these major sports, and for decades we've still been using just chain links. Like this makes so much more sense to me.
You weren't working on this at Harvard?
It's 4th down. It's not 3rd down.
I should have, man. I tell you what, that's exactly right. I would have made a lot of money.
But you still would have been in this job because you love it in your passion.
It's 4th down. It's not 3rd down.
9 inches short. I remember the first time I called it in Carolina. I think I called it wrong. It was like, hey, that was 1.2 inches. Everybody on Twitter, of course, was wonderfully receptive to that.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you idiots.
Yeah.
I'm sure they gave you a lot of grace, Chris.
All right, let's see what the Browns short yardage defense has. Let's go. Wynn pushing forward. Well, that's
man. He got about 4 yards on the QB sneak.
All right, so linebacker-wise, Carson Swessinger, first pick of the 2nd round. Some people are like, wait, an off-ball linebacker, and obviously you needed him. JOK not playing this year. Jordan Hicks retires at the beginning of training camp. What has Carson Swessinger shown you that maybe even you didn't expect when you turned the name in?
I mean, Carson, it's like we added a 5-year vet to the room. It's very rare for rookie linebackers to be able to come in and wear the green dot right away, and it's really been seamless with him. He's long, he can run. Great play, right?
Yeah, really nice play. Kamarian James.
About time a DB made a play on the ball. Man, oh man. But they tried him. He stopped it at the last minute, got his arm in there and knocked it away.
Intelligence, it's obviously a winning combination.
Rest of that room took a little bit of a hit this past week. Nathaniel Watson was having a great camp, done for the year with a biceps. Winston Reed is dinged up as well. He had to sign a couple of guys, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday just to fill out for this game. Oh, good job by Easton Mascarenas-Arnold, who's been great as an undrafted rookie free agent out of USC. Is that a guy that is being discussed in that room?
Chris, you could not have picked a better segue. We're very pleased with.
Third down, 3rd and 11. This is your chance. Get off the field, get the stop, force them for the field goal attempt.
We might as well call them the triplets because they're always together in the facility since spring. He can run, he's physical, he can play in coverage. Even though he's a little undersized, that's not as big of a deal in our system. And you know, he's made a lot of plays this August for us.
Browns blitzing win, rolls out right, throws incomplete. Good job by KJ Henry getting into the backfield. Of course, had a pick 6 last week in Philly. And the Rams will come out, and it looks like they're going to try a long field goal.
All right, we get the stop. We get to stop there, 4th and 11. They're going to try a long field goal, and then we'll be getting the ball back. I was getting nervous. I'm nervous about the Browns secondary going into the year. Behind Denzel Ward, it's looking thin. We got to see what Greg Newsome does as he goes back to the outside from being in the slot for a couple years. But we're going to see how he does. Is this a timeout? What we got?
We have a quick timeout. You want to say goodbye? You can go, or do you want to hang through the kick? I will give you.
Let's hang through the kick. Okay. Look, I only get to do this once a year with you guys.
That's true. I'm not trying to kick you out. You can stay the rest of the game if you want to.
Chris is trying to get rid of you.
That is not what I'm doing.
I mean, it was soft. It was professional.
Don't make me come over there. Do not make me come over there.
Save me, AD. I know you're a lot stronger than the 3 of us. You're the only guy who can help me.
Were you ever the guy in the wing trying to block the kick?
You know what? I was, but fun fact, I was actually the holder in college.
Really?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
You can't come up and then go back down on the knee. You're down.
Yeah, I was always.
Did you ever have to throw a pass like?
I did. I did. We completed it, but we did not convert.
For -2 yards. So what is your career stat line at quarterback then? 1 for 1 for -2. 100 rating.
45-yard attempt by Cardi, and he nails it. Andrew Berry, it was a pleasure, man.
No, my pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Good seeing you. Good luck.
Straight down the middle.
Final 53 on Tuesday and then beyond. Shadour Sanders in the on-deck circle. We'll see him right after this.
Shedeur getting warmed up for his 3rd drive. Hopefully they got their offensive line to settle down. We need the offensive line to open up some run lanes because 3rd and long is the worst situation to be in because there's so many things that the defense can do. They can just, try to confuse you on the zone. They can blitz you. So you need more time for things to develop on 3rd and long. So if we're going to throw it on 1st down, we got to get something. I think that with Shedeur, every plan that the Browns have tried to make to not give him an opportunity, something else happened and the opportunity was there. So I'm not wishing injury on people, but I would not be surprised based on the injuries we've seen happen so far in the quarterback room if he got to play sooner than we thought based on injury. Joe Flacco's 40-plus years old. How much can his body really go through? Dillon Gabriel already got a hamstring injury, soft tissue, so that can be an issue. Kenny Pickett hasn't been able to play the entire preseason, soft tissue injury. So I don't think they're going to hold him just for money. I think Shadour Sanders is their get-out-of-jail-free card. So if it gets to the regular season and Joe Flacco gets hurt, Dillon Gabriel goes out there, he doesn't do well, Shedeur could save their job if he goes out there and balls out. So I think he's their get-out-of-jail-free card. And I think they're using him as such. They're just keeping him in the pocket until they just need to be saved and say, man, we are 10 games through the year. We won 3 games. Our jobs are on the line. People are calling for us to be fired. And we are, trying to make our way through. So I agree. We can have an idea of how we want to do things, but, some things, like they say, everything is in your control.
News, traffic, and Power of 5 weather, so you are all set for the day ahead. Joshua Carty, 45-yard field goal, has gotten the Rams back within 6 as Shedeur Sanders about to take the field yet again. Heard some interesting stuff from Andrew Berry. Going to be busy for the next week trying to put the finishing touches on the 2025 version of the Browns, who will start this next drive at the 35. So we haven't seen much from the offense under the leadership this time of Shedeur Sanders. That's going to happen. What do you want to see now?
I'd like to see a long drive with some opportunity for him to show off his stuff, right? He's done a great job being poised back there, making great decisions on when to stay in the pocket, when to leave in his last start, but just not a lot of opportunities, not great blocking, and then just drives that are stalling because they're not successful in the run game, so keeping them in long situations, receivers not giving them windows to throw to.
Marshall in the backfield behind Sanders. He'll get the rock and go nowhere, courtesy of that Rams defense. By the way, under the tutelage of Chris Shula, grandson of the legendary
No.
John Shula.
No. Jermaine, don't put me through that. I don't want to. I don't want to go through that. When the Browns, I'm gonna do this every week until everybody hears it. When the Browns drafted Dillon Gabriel, night 2 of the draft, this was me. I don't want to go through that.
Sanders dumps it down to Marshall for a short gain. We saw Shedeur a couple of weeks ago in his NFL opener at Carolina. Actually went against the first-string defense his first.
See, 3rd and 8. They try to run the ball on first down. They got nothing. They get 2 yards on a little short pass there. Guys just can't get separation. 3rd and 8, you just can't. You offenses rarely do well when they got to keep going in these 3rd and long situations.
But everything has been quick with his decision making and accurate with the throw.
Rams blitzing. Sanders has the ball stripped, bouncing around, and the Browns, it appears they fall on it. It was Muhammad that came in off the edge to jar the ball loose from Sanders, and it'll be another 3 and out.
Ivy, the Browns left tackle there, does not do a great job around the edge. Shadour Sanders, one thing he needs to learn is in those situations, you got those 3rd and longs, you're taking a deep drop because you've got routes that are going deep down the field. You want to be able to step up.
Yeah, I suffer long enough. When I'm saying I don't want them to trade him, that is me being 100% selfish. I suffer for far too long with these Cleveland Browns. All right, so we got them inside the 5. If Shedeur gets 1, maybe 2 good drives out of this, I think this will be a plus. Even Joe Thomas talking about it, he said the left tackle just got beat so fast. Some of these things that when they grade them, you got to look at the guys around them. And if you get no separation, 3rd and long, you can't move the ball on first down, you just make it easy for the defense. But, yeah, I don't want to go through another year of just the Browns being the Browns. I've been going through that my whole life for the Browns being the Browns. You got David Njoku sitting right next to Shedeur, keeping some energy with him. David Njoku's even looking at the play for him. So you got guys, they want to see him do well.
Him back with a booming punt inside the 5-yard line. What a weapon this guy is for the Browns.
Yeah, he has been fantastic now in his 4th season here in Cleveland. He has 5 punts over 70 yards in the last 3 seasons. Nobody else in the league has more than 2.
As a former punter myself, I feel like a kindred spirit to my punters. I roomed with them in college. Underappreciated. But
you roomed with a punter?
Oh, yeah. Kenny DeBush.
Yeah, it's a combination. He needs more protection, and he needs guys who can create space. The guys that he's throwing to can't create any space. see that part I don't have a Jermaine. I don't have a defense for that because I've been saying I don't think the Browns are smart enough to sabotage. But just based on the players around him that's out there, this is definitely. It's like how do you expect them to look good in this? It's hard not to say this is intentional because they get no rushing yards when they run the ball. The receivers they get no separation. So it's like it's hard not to call it intentional, but because it's bad. It's bad around them. And then all this week, everybody's going to talk about his stats after they gave Dillon Gabriel all this grace this week and all this protection and all this defense. They're going to try to look at his stats, and then they're going to say, oh, but, Shadour went, 1 for – let me see what his stats is so I ain't even making it up. Say, oh, he went 1 for 5 and, you know what I'm saying, blah, 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 blah in the third quarter in defense of Dillon Gabriel. So let's see what he got. Let me go to the home screen. Yeah, Shadour 2 for 4, 7 yards. He's already been sacked twice. Yeah, not much you could do with that. Not much of anything you could do with that. So Q5, you talking about what they're going to say, what Gabriel did in 2 drives, or you saying what they're going to say Shadour did in 2 drives? Looking at the numbers, Gabriel's numbers even kind of look better than Flacco. Yeah, definitely. I agree, Vonsil. We definitely got to stay focused, keep grinding. Joshua, yeah, this offensive line is bad, man. It's turnstiles. When I watched the All-22 this week, I just want to see how fast that guys are getting beat off the line.
We found out that you room with long snappers.
Punters.
Yeah,
they were the most
there you go. That's a little false start.
Things can turn around here if the Browns can get a stop and get some good. They can get some good field position because then instead of having to start off with a run on first down, they can start off trying to see if they can catch somebody deep. So that could kind of, spread the defense out. When you run on first down, you get nowhere. They know you passing on second and third down, so you just become predictable.
5 years of his tenure, and you can see the physicality has shown up on game day, I think.
I think so too. I think you saw it in those joint practices where the Browns were just out physicaling the Carolina Panthers and the Philadelphia Eagles. They were imposing their will on them, and it started on both sides of the offensive and the defensive line there in the trenches, and really just continued all the way through the linebacker core and the safeties. You've seen some big hits today. So what I really like about a training camp or a preseason is those opportunities to get your mind into football speed, right? Which
36. We need some complementary football. We need the defense to help the offense here.
Through tackles and run through blocks to make that physical portion of the game second nature, which that's something I think you almost have to relearn every time you put the pads back on and start a new season.
Browns force a 3 and out as Witten's pass sailed high over the head of Britton.
That's what you need. That's what you need. You need that 3 and out. You need them punting from their end zone. You need to be starting right around the 50 or even starting plus side of the field. Then you can kind of put something together because in that situation, you can almost go for it on fourth down because you're plus side of the 50. And the kicker has been the best. So let's see what Gage Larvidan does on this punt return.
We'll see if there's quarterback movement around the league. Injuries play a role in guys getting moved as well. Gage Larvidan from his 35 gets it close to midfield before he gets dropped by the Rams. So here comes Shadour Sanders.
I don't think they let DG decide the playbook. I'm calling BS on that because Kevin Stefanski, this is Kevin Stefanski's old offense that he ran previously before Dillon was here. So how do you let the third string quarterback determine the offense when the starters are going to go out there and play it, not the third string quarterback?
I have no idea. There's no guarantees as a player or even a coach about being around next season, so you can't worry about that. But the people upstairs, those are the guys that need to be aware and alert, as Shedeur Sanders does a great job moving in the pocket. That was something we saw Russell Wilson do a lot when he's getting blindside pressure. He had that great awareness of where that was to make just a little bit of a jab step, make the first blitzer miss, and then roll out and give his receivers an opportunity to work on their scramble drill.
Well, you know, Sanders and Gabriel picked a couple of rounds apart, and it's the first time in the NFL since 2012 where multiple quarterbacks were drafted by the same team in the first 5 rounds. Hasn't happened a lot in the common draft era since the late 60s. RG3 and Kirk Cousins, and of course, Kirk Cousins still cashing some checks down there in Atlanta with the Falcons as the backup to Michael Penix. Sanders being pressured, spins away again, keeping the play alive. The fans
throw it away, throw it away.
Those plays where maybe
He's pressing. You got to throw that away, man. Throw it away. It's a dead play. Can't keep pressing. Nothing. Yeah, you just gotta throw that away, man. When they show the wide view of the field, there's nothing there. It's 3rd and 35. I know you're frustrated. You just gotta throw it away. You gotta throw it away. His body language has been off ever since the second drive. The second drive, it was almost like it hit him like, dang, what they got me doing out here? Look at this, like, it's nothing. They're going to try to, but, I mean, they're going to do that regardless. To me, you can see that it's nothing there. That's why you can't keep having all these 3rd and longs, 2nd and longs. It just, the defense is so easy to defend. So it's frustrating because you want to put something good on tape. You want to come out there. You want to show that, you know, you got the skill when you're supposed to be here, but you can't really do much with what they giving him. Because once you see the wide, it's almost like the all 22 view. Once you see that wide view, you see it ain't even nowhere for him to go with the ball. I'd rather him just take his lumps and no turnovers. Don't start running backwards. Don't try to be the hero, because that's gonna show up worse than if you actually are, you know, moving them or getting less. You know what I'm saying? Going back and dropping back 20 yards is way worse than you just realizing there's nothing there, rolling to the side and throwing the ball away. It sucks. It's not what you want to keep doing. You don't want to keep having, you know, 3, 4, and 5 plays where nothing's there and you got to throw it away. But, you know, that's the internal fight that you have with yourself. So you got to look at what it is. I think I'm looking at his stats now. I think the thing that people are going to talk about, they can't really talk about his passer rating too much, but I think because he's only 2 for 4. But I think what they're really going to talk about is how much yards he's losing on sacks. That's where they're really going to crush him. 4 sacks for minus 34 yards. So that's where they're really going to crush him. You already know that's you already know that's what they're gonna say. That's exactly what they're gonna say. Even though Joe Burrow did the exact same thing. Joe Burrow did the exact same thing in their second preseason game. But they're gonna say that's why Shadour is like that. Joe Burrow did that with his starters. Shadour is doing this with guys who he doesn't have 3 seconds to let the play develop, and they know they can't run the ball, so they don't even have to defend it. My bot clipped you, but I'm going to read that message, Joshua. They're trying to make Shadour Magic Man or something in order to keep him. Cleveland's trying to make Shadour wave and wine. This is a fact.
Time in the morning, that is over in London. That's the Minnesota Vikings. Presley on the end around. Got a good block, but a nice tackle there. Christian Holmes, and then here's the second half of the schedule. You know, the interesting thing is going to be, Joe Flacco named the opening day.
Y'all want to know what thought I just had as I'm watching this? As I'm watching this, the first thing I just thought was, this is going to be the thing that they use to justify why Dillon Gabriel is going to be the backup if they move on. Yeah, it just looks bad. Does anything look the same? Like when I watch the All 22, I'm gonna look and see are they running any of the same sets that they ran. I don't think I've seen the screenplay. I saw Joe Flacco on one drive run 3 different screenplays. I saw Dillon Gabriel get a screenplay. I haven't seen no screenplays ran for Shadour. So then I'm gonna look at it and see, like, are they even running or calling the same type of game? But I think the Browns are going to use this as justification why Gabriel's going to be number 2 if they get rid of Pickett. So what they might do with Pickett is they might put Kenny Pickett on IR to start the year, and then they might have Shadour dress as the man. That's Aiden Huntington again making plays. They might have Shadour not dress but be the emergency quarterback, and they might have Gabriel as the backup if they put Kenny Pickett on IR. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think that's the thought that just came into my head. Like, all right, what are they trying to accomplish here? And that's kind of what I just thought about. Yeah, I think in the moment, I think he's gonna be frustrated. I think he's probably frustrated in the moment and agitated about what's happening. But I don't think this is anything he can't bounce back from. Oh, Gage, you gotta no, Gage, you gotta catch that. Yeah, Gage, you gotta catch that. You can't go from round the 20 into the 10. I think after this, he was confident and excited the whole pregame. Remember, I was telling y'all his body language was good. That's why I was confident in him, because I'm like, he's confident. After that second drive, it's almost like he looked like, dang, they playing me here, because his body language changed after the second drive. Now, my only pushback with that, Joshua, is if it's true what Eric Dickerson said and the entire NFL wasn't going to draft him, who is he getting traded to that's going to treat him? Actually, not even treat. Who is he going to get traded to if the NFL was trying to make him go undrafted? Who is he going to get traded to? Who is the team that's going to go out on a limb for him? Because even though I think the way we view him is one way, but I agree, Trauma. I agree, Vet. Remember earlier I was saying, no, I don't think it's that. Now I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, this is so bad. Like, the line is getting beat so fast. Like, it's just this is where they say we let you play, but they know they're not putting you in a good position. That's what this is. And this is the justification. This is so they can justify Dillon Gabriel being number 2, moving up the depth chart. And this is going to be the justification for Shadour staying 4th on the depth chart. They just put their thumb on the scale and said, If we don't give you good guys to play with, how you going to produce? We give you half decent guys to play with, you produce. And I don't even think the play calls are the same. I don't think they are. I don't. Like I said, I haven't seen a screen pass. I've seen them try to run, but it's when they're about to run. Even people in the fans, I'm looking at people in the stands are just looking like this ain't it.
Browns just picked up 15 yards, courtesy of a personal foul on the punt return against the Rams. In the meantime, let's check in once again with Aditi Kinkawala. She's on the sidelines with the Browns' top 2 picks.
2 rookie superstars, Chris. Mason, I'll start with this one. Andrew Berry just said that the 2 of you are always with each other in the building. Is that true?
We're neighbors, so it's kind of funny. So, yeah, we're kind of always
over where the
together.
buses go?
Is that accidental that you live by each other?
Yeah, I moved there first.
Whiskey Voyage, I was trying to pull up your message because my bot be going crazy sometimes, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, this is looking crazy. This is looking real crazy. Yeah, this is looking like the master plan is to make sure when we don't move him on the depth chart and Dillon Gabriel moves on the depth chart, this is the reason why. And the national media is just gonna go to the numbers, and they're not gonna look at like, man, he was put in a lose-lose situation. This is lose-lose. Yeah. Shadour just he's gonna be frustrated today, and naturally so, rightfully so. He's gonna be frustrated. This is just one of those you peep what's happening in front of you. You look at it. It looks like they are going to repunt. Let's see what we got going on here. Nah, I ain't gonna say it's worse than the draft. The draft cost him about $40 million. I ain't gonna say it's worse than the draft. This is bad, but this ain't cost him $40 million like the draft did. So DG never had to when Dillon Gabriel, when his game went down, it was when they took some of the guys out, some of the regular guys out, and that's when his game looked bad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Joshua. I don't know if they would. I don't know if teams have already. I don't know if teams have changed how they view him.
Shadour Sanders, 2 for 4 so far. Hands it off to Marshall. Bullies his way up toward the 40. Shadour has also suffered a couple of sacks this afternoon. Cut down day coming your way Tuesday at 4 o'clock Cleveland time. Hopefully the Browns escape severe injury bug today. We did see their starting center, Ethan Posick, lead with a...
Yeah, DG didn't have a bad game. Yeah, they making him look real bad. They making him look crazy today.
And Rams and Browns going at it face to face with guys trying to make one last impression.
Browns finally getting something going on the ground. That's really going to be a huge help for Shadour Sanders when they do drop him back to throw again, because so far when Shadour Sanders has been in, he just...
I don't think Shadour was part of the quarterback competition. I don't think the Browns gave him a fair opportunity to move up the depth chart or do anything in the quarterback competition. I think the quarterback competition was between Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett.
Well, do something special on 1st and 10. Pressure, Sanders retreats, now steps up. He's going to get dropped inside the 40. Did he lose it? No whistle.
He was on the ground.
Now there's a whistle finally, even though Tony Fields, the former Brown, thought he had a fumble return for a touchdown, but ruled down by contact.
Shadour Sanders trying to move in the pocket, create something, but just nothing there. Looks like the ball was going to be down as he's being tackled. That elbow hits the ground before.
Yeah, he's easily down. But see, you know what? It's a combination because the offensive line is bad and the receivers can't get open. Nobody can get open.
Step up or they're going to just continue to rush up the field. There's that spot. Sorry, go ahead.
Connection with Sal Cannella gets it back to the original line of scrimmage.
All right, second down, 16 here. Got an opportunity to get, sorry, it looks like it'll be about 3rd and 10. So now this is a really tough situation, but hopefully he's made that adjustment in his mind. He'll be able to step up into the pocket. They'll give Shadour an opportunity to complete something here. Even if it's short of the sticks, give your guys a catchable ball. Try to maybe run and get that first down after you catch it.
Sanders sacked 94 times in 2 years out of Colorado. Sanders steps up.
This is crazy.
Retreats, spins around, throws, keeps the ball alive. It's behind Williams and incomplete. And he could have gone running for a while.
These are not the 2s and 3s. These are behind the 2s and 3s. These are like the fringe players who won't make the team. I mean, look at this. Like, yeah, Shadour sees what it is. He's super frustrated. He sees what it is. Look at that. Y'all see these plays. Like, this, people are going to take a bunch of shots at Shadour for this, and I'm just not going to fall for it. People are going to take their shots. I'm not going to be arguing back and forth with people. Y'all see this. Everybody watching this see how bad this is. My man is fighting off defensive linemen just to get a pass off. I think you might be thinking of Aditi. Aditi is the sideline reporter. I don't think she announced in this game. It was Joe Thomas and Andrew Siciliano announcing the game. Didi was the sideline reporter. She was the one doing the interviews with the players during the games. Yeah, he's showing no quit. All Shadour could do is show that he's not quitting. Nope. This is not the line that played in the first half. This is the line. These guys not going. They're not going to make the team. So the Browns starting center is Pochich. Then they got Weipler. I think center they have out there is number 54. He's not even on their roster. So yeah, these guys. Some of these guys are not even listed on the Browns roster on ESPN. So these are not guys that's gonna make the team. They're just going. They wanted. Q5, I said the same thing. When I watched, to me, it doesn't look like they're running the same plays that was called early in the game. I'm not seeing the concepts that Kevin Stefanski run. And it could just be some of my bias in there too. But I know for a fact, I don't recall Shadour running any screen plays. You run screen plays. When your offensive line is getting crushed, you run screen plays so you can give your offensive line like some confidence. And you can invite the rush. So then you get the D linemen second guessing. So I'm definitely going to watch the all 22 from this because it ain't looking the same. Brett, you funny. Let me see. I haven't been. Sheila, let me read your message. They set up Dillon, had the best protection. Get the hell out of Cleveland. They got him playing with different players. He has no help. You got to go. To me, they are doing this to They're doing this to justify why they're going to keep Dillon Gabriel ahead of Shedeur. And I always said the Browns were incompetent. I don't think they're going to ruin his career because I don't think they could take his confidence. I think he knows, like, on that second drive, I think he recognized, like, dang, they're not giving me a shot out here. So I don't think they can ruin his confidence because he's super confident in himself. But I changed my mind on the Browns not doing something to sabotage Shedeur because they're, even as you see these guys aren't any better. Q5, I'm saying, they got receivers in who got defensive back numbers. You know what I'm saying? The receiver is 31, 38. Like, you know it's bad. It seems like the Browns want to suppress. It seems like the Browns want to suppress the desire to see Shedeur, and that's my raw thought right now from seeing this, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't see them trying to. On defense, you see guys playing, you see guys running, you see guys hitting. You're not really seeing that drive on offense. Brett, these guys gonna be cut. Yeah, they give him that Sam Darnold. See, I'll tell you this. I'm not going to say it's a black and white thing because we have too many situations where people were done wrong due to race and it's proven. And without proof, I think you kind of diminish what other people went through due to race. But I will say that they definitely put Dillon Gabriel in a position to succeed, and they did not put Shedeur in a position to succeed. And I think the Browns care about the social media presence. I think they care about the backlash that guys receive on social media like Dillon Gabriel, and I think that they are falling into it because I've heard Mary Kay say, oh, the Browns are not going to succumb to the pressure of, the outside noise on Shedeur. And I was like, that's interesting. You don't hear no other team speaking about succumbing to outside pressure for them to want to see a guy play. But this game right here, this game changed how I view it. No team is going to have success when they are constantly – look at that. The defense is playing through to the end. No team is going to have success when you're constantly in third and long. Third and long is like the death knell in the NFL. So if you can't run the ball, if you can't get creative to move the ball, this is on – as much as the national media is going to put this on Shedeur, I think this is on Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski's calling the plays. How do you go from a team that's moving the ball? I'm Vontae, I'm with you. I'm still going to support Shedeur too. I think they are definitely propping up their player to look better, the player that they want to look better. Yeah, that's why I don't think they're going to be able to crush his confidence. I think Shedeur is too confident. I also think in this game, Shedeur recognized what it was. I think he recognized what it was because his body language changed. See, the Sam Darnold seeing ghosts, he didn't know what he was seeing. When Shedeur identified that running back was open after he broke the tackles from those D linemen, he still was making opportunity to throw the ball to get it out there. So I got way more belief in Shedeur's mindset and his ability. I don't think they're going to be able to. And yeah, I think this is on, to me, this is all on Kevin Stefanski. This is all on Kevin Stefanski because how do you go out there and it's almost like 3 different teams played today. It's like 3 different teams played. Oh, my goodness. who are these guys that the Rams have? They actually got guys who can make plays. Was he out of bounds? He might have been out of bounds. They got to review that. Andrew Berry seemed like he chilling. Man, I would have challenged that catch. I wouldn't have let them get a playoff. I would have challenged that. How did they not challenge this? I don't got the violence.
He's definitely checking it out. But how about True Edwards?
Boy, that was close, right? At what point does he secure possession of the ball, and at what point does that booty hit the white chalk on the sideline there? That was bang, bang. I think if you had a better camera angle there.
John Simmons, I saw that too. I saw Dillon and Flacco happy, and I saw Njoku has been very close to Shedeur the whole time. I don't think any of those guys are the Rams' first-string defense. The Rams don't really play any starters in the preseason. I think they have their second and third-string guys playing the whole game. But it's definitely a talent issue when you see the Rams' defense going against the offense that the Browns are putting up there. See, I think situations like this will just backfire on the Browns because this looks the most obvious that you are putting your hand on the scale to make Shadour look bad. If you don't think Shadour is good, give him the same opportunity as you give everybody else and then let it play out and see where it goes. But this is not quieting anybody who think that you are doing this to make him look crazy. The people who thought the Browns were already sabotaging Shadour and trying to make Shadour look crazy, this makes them believe that more. Because it's clear, you like, dang, this don't look like the same offense. Because you basically lose half your offense when you can't run the ball.
Waters trying to bounce outside. He's going to get into the end zone, and we've got a tie game.
Yeah, I think in the long term, I think Shadour is going to be fine. I think this should be an indictment on the coach who's calling the plays. See, I'm telling you, I think the Browns view Shadour as a get out of jail free card. I think they're going to whip Shadour out when their jobs are on the line. That's what I think. You missed it. We go get Shadour the 2 minute drill with a tie game. Was he offsides? He was offsides. Q5, you thinking how I'm thinking. I was thinking the same thing. If they give him the opportunity to go win the game, because that could turn around how he's viewed. But they gotta you got guys out here just looking like a turnstile with how fast they getting beat. Yeah, he was offsides. Yeah, but you never want to vet. You never want to look like a quitter. You never want to look like the person when stuff got hard, you quit, because then they'll hold that against you, even if they were doing stuff to make you look crazy. All right, 17-16. 2 minutes, 3 seconds left. Browns got 3 timeouts. Q5, I'm with you. We're going to see if they let Shadour go out there. Is Huntley going in? Shadour is not going back in. They're putting Huntley in on his last drive. Shadour is agitated. He's definitely walking it off. He's pacing the sideline. And he just did a little smirk. He's laughing. Shadour know what it is. He not stupid. He know what it is. Yeah, they're putting Huntley in. Hey, this right here. This is crazy.
Out of the end zone, Browns have started at the 35, but all eyes have been focused on him ever since the draft process, and then we don't have to harp on it again, but it ends up being picked 144 in the 5th round, and then here, and where are you on the depth chart? And they've got a rookie that they drafted ahead of you, so maybe they don't like you as much. There's been a lot, and as I mentioned, every press conference he has had, he has stood there and handled things beautifully.
Yeah, the game did not go the way any of us had hoped today. Protection was not there. Shadour Sanders not feeling comfortable with movement in the pocket. Receivers not getting open. Just not.
Shadour just went and grabbed his helmet. So I don't know. This don't add. Maybe he just wanted to put his helmet on. I don't know. This don't. Joshua, that's what it's looking like. I'm looking at this. Look at the first play they ran for Huntley.
Here, a little bit of a
This
hold
is the
there
2-minute
by
warning.
Lampkin.
the defender. Lampkin
2
allowing
minutes.
himself to kind of slingshot underneath the receiver and make the play.
All right.
So Shadour is definitely he's feeling it. He's feeling it because he was just talking to Tony Brown and he was going to grab his helmet. He's feeling it. This is the Browns trying to make their guy look better and not giving him the shot. And then the first play you run for Huntley, you spread him out to go deep. See, yeah, that's true. That's Caden Davis. I don't remember seeing Caden Davis in any snaps. Q5, I believe you. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it after I wrap up the string on that part and see what he was saying, because I don't think they wanted that to be heard, or I don't think they wanted that to be heard on TV. But it don't make sense. Why would you? Remember, I said if they wanted Dillon Gabriel to look good, they wouldn't let Gabriel play in the second half. And I was like, they would do that to protect him so he went out on a high note. So now you got a chance where Shadour could win the game and then you don't put him back in. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a combination of the play calling too. Like, this is the difference. Not every head coach calls offensive plays. So this is directly on Kevin Stefanski because he is the one calling the plays. He the one calling the plays. And there's no way you're telling me this is the last preseason game, guys fighting for their jobs, and that's the offensive product you put out there? That's the offensive product you put out there? Starting in the third quarter? This not going to change how I view Shadour, but this is them trying to pull a rug over your eyes because they messed up by allowing Shadour to go out there and ball in Carolina. That's where they messed up. Look at Joe Flacco got time. Dillon Gabriel got time. Where's the time at for Shedeur?
August 30th in Cleveland. Tickets available at realamericanfreestyle.com. After the hold on Cam Lampkin, erase the interception. Browns back at work. That's Chad Cota, and he gets out of bounds after a 6-yard gain. Want to thank our outstanding production.
What I tell y'all, receivers with DB numbers. Shedeur looks hot. Shedeur looks hot on the sideline. I think he noticed it on that second drive. The cameras are staying on him. They're trying to hype him up. It's like, come on, man, you doing me wrong. Like, how you gonna do me wrong and then try to hype me up? Yeah, number 54, he not even listed. I can't even find who he was on the depth chart. So You see 54, 65. 65 is 65 is the fourth or fifth string guard. We got on the other side 67. So these are the third and fourth guards. This might be the fourth string center because I don't see him on here. Man, they keep jumping off sides. Let's look at the tackles. The tackles. This is like the 7th or 8th tackle. Yeah, this is the line that they put out there is crazy. It's real crazy. I wonder if Shadour is going to get to speak to the media. Sheila B, let's see what it said. You got to be blind to see that they did not set him up. He had to play with the worst players. Junior varsity, it is what it is. They set that man up. They wanted him to look bad. Yeah, I think it was more than just the line. I think it was the line. It was the receivers. It was the play call. That's why before I was saying I didn't think this was sabotage before the game. This game right here, you have to try to look this bad. If you just lined up and ran the ball every play, you wouldn't look this bad. You have to try to look this bad. So you have to know what defense, and Kevin Stefanski's calling these plays. So you have to identify what defenses and stuff they're gonna run. This is you're trying to look this bad. Like this is crazy. Oh, he's knocked out. That's a concussion. Let me read your message, Vivian. So is it just me or did everything change when Huntley hit the field? I hope they lose. I'm not a Browns, nor will I ever be. I will continue to root for Shadour no matter what. Yes. So they spreaded the ball out more. They didn't look as obvious what they were running as soon as they put Huntley in, and then only 6 pass attempts. So you played the entire third quarter, and you played majority of the fourth quarter in 6 pass attempts, 3 for 6, 14 yards, and you were sacked 5 times. James, I just disagree with you because if he's just not good, just answer one question for me. One question for me. When you looked at the first half that Shadour played in Carolina, is this how he looked that he looked in today's game? That's the one question I have for you. Does this look like the same player? And then after you answer that question, we'll go to the next one. Sheila, let me get your message. Dillon Gabriel is not going to perform well. The real players when the season starts, I agree. I think Dillon Gabriel has tendencies that you could easily take advantage of once his live games. James, you didn't answer the question. Beast Reincarnated, what's going on? Yeah, it was before the game. I was not with the sabotage thing. When Shadour got in and played after that second drive, his demeanor changed. I saw how they kept intentionally ending up in 3rd and long. I was like, this is a setup. They're intentionally doing this. Kevin Stefanski is the play caller. I'm going to look and see how many times they ran similar plays for Shadour like they ran for the other guys. I didn't see no quick outs. Life escape, I agree. Offensive line offensive line can make or break you. It can make or break you. So if you put out, I mean, I got the depth chart pulled up over here. We are looking at guys. They don't have anybody who is not listed. So when it comes to center, this is the 4th string center. He might be on the practice squad. When it comes to the guards, these are the 4th and 5th guards. Tackles, these are the 7th and 8th tackles. So they are so far down the depth chart, you can't expect them to perform. Yeah, that's why he did get frustrated in the middle of that, and he kept rolling back, and I'm like, man, just throw it away. Just throw it away. Yeah, I want to look at the play calls on the all 22 and see were they running the same concepts or were they going to different concepts. Let's see. Hold on, my bot is tripping. Yeah, I'm a break down. I'm a break down how they looked at it, because what I did was I did the same thing for Dillon Gabriel's game and for Shedeur's game. I looked at the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, they're running the same plays. They was running the same running plays. They was running the same passing plays. Where Shadour scored the touchdown in Carolina, they ran that play for Dillon. They ran it for Huntley. So that's the type of stuff you got to look at and say, okay, this is where we can see what actually happened, what took place. But I think they put their hand on the scale to make sure Dillon Gabriel looked better, and to me it just looks like they wanted to make sure Dillon was going to be the backup going into the season. And you know what? You can only worry about things you can change. I can't change the fact they think Dillon Gabriel's better, but put him out there. Put him out there in the regular season, and let's see what he does. Browns backup kicker makes the kick to win the game. Shedeur is hot walking off the field. I never seen Shedeur's face look like this. You know, Shedeur is usually he's usually in a positive feel. I never seen him look frustrated like this, but I think after that second drive, I think he knew. He was just there like, man, this don't make sense. I think we're going to hold out for Kevin Stefanski's press conference. It shouldn't take too long. He got Tony Brown hyping him up. Oh, my bot is aggressive. So if you do all caps or anything like that, my bot will pop you. If I see it, I'll still end up reading the message. Yeah, we're gonna see. Let's see how long it's gonna take before they put them out there for press conferences. Let me do something real quick. All right, talk to me, y'all. Tell me y'all thoughts. Tell me y'all feelings. Tell me everything. How you feeling after this? He definitely not gonna say anything important. I just want to know if they're gonna question how stuff looked. Look who's back. Shadour Sanders could throw the ball away or take a sack or at least step up in the pocket, but he was too busy running circles in the pocket. Tessa, are you still here? Tessa, didn't I tell you what he was waiting for? Tessa, if you still here, he just showed up. Yeah, I don't know why they put. I don't know why they put. Dang, where'd the message go? That was a good message. I don't know why they didn't put Shadour in for that final drive. That looks suspicious. Not putting Shadour in for that final drive. Josh Simmons, that's who message I wanted to see. Let me see. Yeah, the step up in the pocket thing, it's not a blanket statement because it's not always just step up in the pocket because it depends on where the pressure is coming from. So sometimes it's not step up in the pocket. Sometimes it's slide. It's different things you do. But Jeffrey, I knew you wasn't going to be back until Shadour did something bad. I said that about 2 hours ago. Let's see, John. What's crazy is how do you not let Shadour do 2-minute drill? John, that is a fact. Myself and Q5 were saying we're going to see if they let him do this drive. We're going to see. I thought that was the thing to determine it. See, if you are trying to dispel the narratives that you're not doing anything to slow his progress or sabotage him, is no reason why you don't put him in on that final drive unless you don't want him to go out on a positive note. And you made sure all the rest of the quarterbacks went out on a positive note. CJ, okay, it wasn't a setup. Can you explain why they put everybody, the entire offensive line, were the last guys on the depth chart? That's the only question I got for you, CJ. Explain why the offensive line he was playing with were the last guys on the depth chart. That's the question I got for you. I agree. Q5, you know it. Because you would have then been able to grab something positive from it if you say, yeah, he was struggling, but then he had the game-winning drive. Yep. I went down the depth chart. See, sometimes people say things and they don't want to look into things more. They already did. It was people who walked in saying Shadour did bad. So it doesn't matter what happened. They was going to say he did bad. But then when I ask you one question, you don't got to follow up because you are always looking to say he did bad. Yeah, I seen it right away. Yeah, Benjamin, I agree. He was running for his life. Von Seal, I agree. I think he's going to be great. I think he recognized in real time what it was because his demeanor changed. I'm telling you, one of the best things I have is my memory and my recall. And his demeanor changed after that second drive. The second drive, he was like, CJ, that's not the answer to the question. I'm not asking for starters. It's a difference between a starter who's number 1 tackle and you putting the 7th and 8th tackle out there. That is 6 guys in the middle. So for you to get to the 8th tackle, you're playing the 4th string tackle. I don't think they blocked better for Huntley. Huntley still had happy feet and had to move around. I think the play calls were different. They spread the defense out. So they eliminated their ability on first down to just load up the box. That's why I say you got to look at the play call. The first play Huntley ran, they spread the whole field. They used the whole field. They spread the receivers out. You look at the plays that Shadour was having where they were starting off, he's starting under center, and it's obvious that you're running the ball. How many play action did they run on first down? So it's ways that you call the game that limit the game. Dang, Sheila, that's going to be a long year for me if we lose every game. See, I think that they just – I think they're not going to believe into they're not going to believe in Shadour until their back is up against the wall. That's what I think, Sheila. When their back is up against the wall, that's when they're going – I'm telling you, Shadour's to get out of jail free card. What happened to the play action? What happened to the play action in the heavy run game that Dillon Gabriel and Joe Flacco got? One wrinkle that they did for Joe Flacco was on Joe Flacco's scoring drive, they ran a bunch of screenplays. And you run screenplays to get the defensive line off balance. And the Browns, okay, so the Browns, if you were a predominantly running team, as soon as you go into 5 wide, they know you're throwing the ball. 5 wide is you're not going to do a quarterback sneak, so they know you're throwing the ball. So then what do? You decide, are we going to do coverage or are we going to blitz? So you choreograph what you want. You choreograph what the defense is going to do to you. So they ran the ball with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco also had running backs who were chipping and then running into the flat. He threw the ball to Jerome Ford a couple times out the flat. So they did different things from each quarterback that they ran. How many screen passes did you see them run for Shedeur? They didn't run any screen passes. How many play action did you see them run on first down to get the defense off balance? You didn't see it. You saw them throw the ball on first down, run the ball on second down. CJ, you don't answer questions. You don't answer questions, CJ. Cowboy fan, y'all need to go sign Micah and talk to Jerry Jones. You rarely see 5 wide because it's so choreographed. So if the Rams defense came to play, why did they give up a game-winning scoring drive? Why did they give up a scoring drive to Joe Flacco? Why did they give up 2 scoring drives to Dillon Gabriel? How is that a defense that came to play? Shedeur had 2 opportunities where he definitely should have thrown the ball away. So when you say something that makes sense, I agree with you. CJ, I agree with that. It was at least 2 plays where he should have just threw the ball away. But he was stuck in a place of frustration trying to make something happen because he knows he's putting this tape out there. So when you say something that makes sense, I agree with you. I'm not just going to disagree with everything. All right, they're not live yet. They're not live yet. Um, 31 McDonald, he's a wide receiver. He's at the bottom of the depth chart. 31 is the receiver who got knocked out. It looked like a concussion on the drive for that's Cade McDonald. He's a rookie out of Miami, Ohio. He's the one who got knocked out when they put Huntley in on the last drive. They just tipped the scale. They tipped the scale is what they did. Nah, I don't think McDonald plays safety. I got to put up right here. They do have somebody listed at 31. That's Donovan McMillan. That's who you're thinking of. But Cade McDonald, that's a different guy. I thought you could only use the same number in college. I didn't know they let guys have the same number. Maybe it's a preseason thing. Yeah, it's 2 different guys, but they got both of them listed on their depth chart at 31. Yeah, one of them is black, and I think one of them is white. So yeah, it ain't the same person. I think what happens next is I think the Browns release their next depth chart. I think Kenny Pickett's probably going to go on injury reserve. I think Dillon Gabriel is going to be the 2, and I think Shadour Sanders is going to be the 3, and I think they're going to go into the year with Joe Flacco suiting up for the first 4 weeks. Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel suit up. Shadour Sanders will be the emergency quarterback, and I don't think he'll suit. No, you could. Normally, I thought it was only in college. It might just be because it's preseason that they let both of them wear 31. But I thought the NFL got rid of that a long time ago. But it could be a preseason thing, and that's why they let both of them wear 31. Von Seal, I'm there with you. I like Shedeur's vibe coming into it. I like his confidence that he came into it with. I think he had the deck stacked against him. They stacked the deck against him, and once they do that, it's hard to do anything with it. It's very tough to do anything with it. So let's see. Let me do something real quick. Let's put you down. Let's put you here. I don't know if Kenny Pickett has any trade value, but cut, I wouldn't mind seeing him get cut. I don't see the reason. If Kenny Pickett wasn't going to start the year as a starter, I don't see the point of him being there. I think Shedeur starts to end the year, but I think to start the year is going to be Flacco. I don't think Flacco's going to start more than 6 games. Based on this game right here, Dillon Gabriel is clearly going to get the second opportunity, and I think Shedeur is going to get the last opportunity. 17 games. I'm giving 6. If the Browns are 5-1, Joe Flacco will stay the starter. If the Browns are 4-2, Joe Flacco will stay the starter. If the Browns are 3-3, I think they go to one of the rookies. And then I think that rookie, based on today, is going to be Dillon Gabriel. Whether I agree with it or not, I think it's going to be Dillon Gabriel. Then I think Shedeur will play after that. They ran different types of plays. The very first play when Huntley came in, they spread out the defense, and it wasn't 5 wide. Yeah, Von Seal, today was a tough one to swallow, but it's one of those ones where you just got to, like, dang, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Keep it moving forward. Yeah, I think they're similar. I don't think that's why I don't think you need both of them. Here we go again. I'm not making a big deal out of it. In real time, I'm giving you my thoughts on it. I think the national media and the media is going to make a very big deal out of this. I think the local Cleveland people, some of them, it's a couple people on 92.3 The Fan. I think they're going to be able to identify the changes that happen. But I think the national media is just going to look at the numbers, and they're just going to assume that Shedeur played worse with the same caliber of talent around him. So I just recognize that they stacked the deck against him with the guys they put in. You mean why didn't he have any turnovers, or why didn't he throw it away, Vivian? Yeah, they gonna go at him like crazy. They're gonna go at him like crazy. That's why a lot of the stuff with the national media, I just know they are not in tuned enough to. They are not in tuned enough to be able to identify right away. Immediately during the game, I told y'all, oh man, the offensive line, this is way down the depth chart. If you value Shedeur, you would never put him in harm's way with putting him behind that bad of an offensive line. Yeah, it's two things happening at once with the offensive line. When you lose confidence in the offensive line of them being able to block people, your clock is sped up, and then you are not even able to look at your reads because you're thinking about, am I about to get crushed because they can't block anybody? Yeah, if he would have, it's no reason why after the first 2 series, Kevin Stefanski isn't doing something to throw the defense off who already is identifying what you're doing. It's no reason why you can't run the same screenplay that you ran in the first quarter of this game. So it's not like you're putting something new on film. You could easily run the same screenplay that you ran earlier in the game. He ran tight end screens. He ran the tight end screen to Fannin. He ran screens to Pierre Strong. He ran screen to Jerome Ford. So you already put it on tape. It's no reason you didn't do anything differently to get the rush off of him. That's on the play caller. And then every time, how many times did y'all see Joe Flacco going to 5 wide? How many times did y'all see Dillon Gabriel going to 5 wide? You just got to ask yourself these questions. Just ask yourself the questions. If you playing Madden and you see you can't run the ball on them, you switch it up. If you see all they doing is blitzing, if you playing Madden and somebody keeps sending blitzes, they keep blitzing the 2 middle linebackers. So you got 7 on 5 or 7 on 6 or 5 on 6. You just do a little quick outplay to the running back just to throw it off. Jeffrey, you picking up what I'm putting down. You see what I'm saying? Let me read your message once. Yeah, let's see. I don't think they should set up a fail for a person. They should allow them, if they're going to fail on their own. Moving part with a positive. I agree. If you don't think he's good, put him out there with the same competition and see what happens. Yeah. I don't recall Joe Flacco going 5 wide. I don't recall Dillon Gabriel going 5 wide. I recall them always having a running back there because they always gave them an outlet. If we go 5 wide, who's the outlet? It's no outlet. So some of this is on them. That's why I switched, like midstream. I switched and said, "Dang, this is kind of." Let me do something real quick, y'all. That's why I switched midstream and was like, "Yeah, some of this is on them because how do you keep putting somebody in a bad spot and expecting them just to figure out something and make something happen from it?" Oh, that's not what we want. I picked the wrong one. Let's see. See if Kevin Stefanski talking about.
Did a nice job in a couple different concepts, worked the middle of the field, but yeah, I was pleased with how that group finished the half.
Would you say he played better than he did last week, though?
Honestly, Jeff, I don't remember last week.
Kevin,
Man, you just lied.
Concerned about Ethan's knee?
Not a lot. Well, we don't have testing, so it's hard to say. I'd say let's get the testing. We'll see.
When Shadour, it seemed like he reverted to some of the drifting or to the retreating. Is that because maybe he's in there with third and fourth teamers and it's just not going the way he would want it to, or did he revert?
I think with all of our players, Mary Kay, there's things that we can do better, and there's some good moments out there, but that's what our job as coaches, to develop our guys.
Yeah, Dillon had that 2-minute drive, and then Huntley obviously had the drive to, win the game for y'all, get the game-winning field goal, rather. Kind of what do you think that says about, the place that y'all have in place for, these 2-minute drills, and then, of course, how y'all hammered that down?
Let me pause him real quick. So Mary Kay just asked, do you think Shadour did some of those things because he was playing with the third and fourth string offensive line? I told y'all real time he was playing with the offensive line far down the depth chart. And then you hear what Kevin Stefanski said? Oh, it's about development. We're about developing all of our guys so they could do better. All you got to do is listen. Listen and look at what they're doing. So you talk about developing guys when you didn't put them in a good position. We not falling for it.
I think in the course of a 60-minute game, there's just so many situations that come up, and it's our job as coaches to prepare our guys for those moments and make sure that there's a shared situational awareness among our football team. And I thought the entire preseason we get an opportunity at a bunch of different situations.
With Dillon, it seemed like he just seems a lot more comfortable in those 2-minute drills, just almost like he can play freer. Is that an accurate assessment?
Kevin is in love with Dillon Gabriel because Dillon Gabriel, yes, coach, I'll do this. Where Shadour Sanders, he asks, why throw underneath when I can go deep downfield? I think that is the biggest difference between Dillon And Shedeur knows that you have to take certain chances going downfield to keep a defense honest. That's why when I was asking everybody questions who just wanted to say Shedeur was doing bad, Shedeur was doing bad, Shedeur was doing bad, I asked the question like, okay, what did they do to help Shedeur when stuff was going bad? And they did nothing. Because you need that balance. You have to, you need that balance to keep the defense honest. They did nothing to keep the defense honest once they realized their offensive line was getting blew up. They didn't bring a tight end and have a tight end chip. They didn't say, man, we got to slow this thing down. We'll give you less routes, but we'll give you more protection. He was in a lose-lose because he had offensive linemen who couldn't do their job, and he had receivers who couldn't get any separation.
I don't know. Good question. I'm not sure how he would feel answering that, Chris. I think he just, that entire group operated really well.
Looked like you got good pressure from the young guys, right? McGuire, Huntington, Thomas.
Huntington, Aiden played fullback for us in the first play of the game. He played special teams. Was just
Jeffrey, that's what
he's on our football team. AB said I could share that with you guys. So he made the
Jeffrey, that's what I was saying the whole time. You run the screen to make the defensive line think. That's how you in football, you slow people down by making them think, making them second guess what they want to do. So by not throwing the screen, by not doing the play action on first down, their defensive line never had to think. And then you think the saving grace is going to be to go to 5 wide, like that's making it even worse. Because I really know you're throwing the ball. So that's why third down is so hard when it's third and long. So what they're going to do is they're hyped up what Dillon did on third down, but you got to look at what was the down and distance on his third downs. So if I'm always having 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, the longest I'm going is 3rd and 6. I think Dillon, if I remember correctly, Dillon had 1 3rd and 10 and he had 1 3rd and 8, and those was his longest third downs. Shedeur had like a 3rd and 25, 3rd and 35, 3rd and 18, 3rd and 16. He had all those long third downs. Which one do you think has a higher likelihood of having success? The person that has 1 3rd and 8, 1 3rd and 10, and all the rest of them are 3rd and 6 and under, or the guy that's 3rd and 10 plus? It's very simple. Yeah, it was. I remember 2 times. I even said, man, you got to throw the ball away. It was 2 times where he really had to throw the ball away. But you got to think in his mind, he's thinking, I got to make something happen. I'm putting film out here. Like, if you don't ease players by making it simple, you go into, I got to make something happen. That's what happened. If you notice, he didn't just start drifting back right away. He drifted back one time. He swung out to throw the ball away. But then when you're on the second or your third drive, you try to make something happen. So that's when they say, you ever hear them say, we ran a play to get the quarterback comfortable. You start off with something short to get the quarterback comfortable. When did they say, we're going to do something to get the quarterback comfortable when they had Shedeur in there? No, he goes to, this developmental guy. That means we don't want to play him. That's what it means. Because they didn't. What favors did they do? And it's directly on Kevin Stefanski because Kevin Stefanski is the one calling the plays. It's directly on him.
Good. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
It'd be nothingness. Yesterday on my live stream, I said that I accept the fact that Dillon Gabriel is going to get the opportunity before Shedeur. And I said I want it that way because when Shedeur gets in, I don't want him to have to look over his shoulder, and they're going to need Shedeur. I agree, Vivian. They're going to need Shedeur to save their jobs. So they're going to do everything they can for him to save their jobs. Jeffrey, how long you been watching that other game, and how fast did you see that? Oh man, they're doing this to help him out. Jeffrey, that's why you notice when I ask people questions, I'm like, hey, I ask them a question. Okay, what about this? What did you do this? If you got a young quarterback and you want to get them settled, and they knew what they was doing. This Shadour, only time he was going to be playing in front of these hometown fans, and they knew what they was doing. They knew what they was doing.
Anytime you see guys, walking around less than 100.
I wonder who else they're going to have speaking.
Concerned for your main guys, so we'll see how he feels and what's actually happening with him. But he's a big piece of what we have.
Great political answer. Seems like you really got into a rhythm. I mean, for that first start to kind of go out there and be in. I mean, did you?
All right, y'all. It's been a very long stream for me. I've been going almost 4 hours. No game next week. Yeah, that's why I say let Dillon Gabriel go first, and then when y'all gonna treat Shadour totally different when you need him to save y'all jobs. No game next week, so I'll be doing a live stream on Saturday. We'll be talking about whatever the top topics are. So live stream on Saturday. I haven't set the time yet. Oh, Saturday it's gonna be a unique live stream because it's going to be the 30th. We got Ohio State and we got Texas. So I might even live stream and listen into that game, Archman and Ohio State. And then a little bit before that, I'll probably give my analysis. So probably a long live stream next Saturday. Then going into the NFL season, we'll be doing the same thing with Browns games. So like, comment, subscribe, tap in. It's been a pleasure speaking with everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't get too down. Shadour is strong. He'll bounce back. He'll be good. Thank you to everybody being here, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Hey, Bun.